Alright, we're beginning again. We're going to be approaching lesson 30 by today, so that's good. Or actually, we're going to be doing lesson 30 by today. Alright, showing the screen is starting, and we are live. This is Nuke Marine presenting the Suggested Guide for Japanese Literacy, course series on Memorize, currently on course number 3, which is Remembering the Kanji Optimized, part 1, which presents the 555 kanji from book 1 of the 2001 Kanji to Odyssey book series, and then presents those kanji in the Remembering the Kanji order, which are sort of basing it on the primitives and radicals that are contained within the kanji. If you enjoy this video, don't forget to hit the like button, and also if you haven't already, consider subscribing if you've been coming back now more than a few times. Finally, if you find this useful for you, consider sharing either this video or the playlist or the channel itself with people who are interested in learning Japanese in the method in which I'm presenting it. I think I ran into one person who said he was watching. He wasn't commenting, but he was watching. I ran into him last night in Yokosuka, and yeah, he said it's kind of difficult, but he is making some headway, so that's good to know. I think it sounded like he was in the vocabulary section, but I guess he was kind of like skipping over the kanji portion, or trying to do them both simultaneously, which is possible. I don't recommend it, but again, it is doable. Definitely want to try to finish the grammar before you move into the vocabulary, because that makes things easier when you get to the sentences. In fact, let me make sure before I'm getting audio. Recommend it, but again, all right. So we are getting good audio. If you hear anything in the background, that's the TV. I'm not quite sure what TV show it's tuned to right now. And alrighty. So yeah, and then my college courses start formally next week. So I need to make sure I balance the time of doing this, doing college, and whatnot, along with all the other daily stuff that might need to happen now and again. I still want to concentrate and at least getting this thing done. I mean, I do need to get to where I'm just, hey, okay, this entire course series is complete on there and then I can either try to work on the intermediate, but maybe not do it to the level which I'm doing right now with these streams. Just kind of leave it as just a personal thing I need to work on, and then because I think by that level, once you get to the intermediate, that's when a lot of people need to start going their separate ways. I mean, they may go the way which I recommend it, or they'll go with something else. It gets kind of it's a little unusual when you get to that level, where you want to go. Some people want to start studying specifically for a test called JLPT. Some for whatever reason just want to start getting into real Japanese and start learning that way, SRS or whatnot. Others just want to continue on with what they're doing, kanji, vocabulary, grammar. And it's some take because again, there are some books that go into the intermediate and advanced levels that are recommended. I think Mina no Nihongo is one book series. Japanese, a living language. Forget what else. Yeah, but whatever is you decide to take is, I don't consider it too much of a wrong decision. All right, so we are here. I didn't post here. Was talking here. Let me go back to where group study, and we'll say daily streaming. Keep it to here. I keep saying I'm going to need to do it, and I haven't done it, but I need to get these done, especially because it's like I'll be up to lesson 30, and that needs to be finished here, and then I'll go and post that up to, as soon as I'm done with all 37 lessons, I definitely will be posting that to the Learn Japanese subreddit, getting there. Also on the Mumble. I did post here. Normally active 2 a.m. to my time. I don't know what they were really talking about, if they were replying to me or not. Okay, yeah, and I did post I normally do, I did post to the subreddit and Learn Japanese, to the thread, Sheets Monday thread, that I'll be doing this in about 20 minutes after I posted it. Alright, so we got here. Alright, so it looks like we're ready. So let's begin. And again, if you are watching, I know nobody. It's not showing as 0 people watching now, but there might be somebody watching. You know, that's YouTube for you, which is not a bad thing. Or just something unusual. Can get kind of weird because I'm talking like, oh, I'm talking to myself, and all of a sudden someone comes up in the chat. No, I'm listening. Oh, fine. That's cool. But anyway, if you are watching the thread and you want to have a question or comment, you know, bring it up in the chat. That's no problem. If you watch this later for some point in the future, also put the questions in the make a comment in the comments for the YouTube, and I'll try to get back to it. Same thing, you know, if you post on Kohi to forum, if you post on Kohi, I'll probably see it. If you post on Reddit, especially if you mention my name, I'll probably see it. I don't think I'll see it here. I don't think I get username notification. Unlike there. Then of course, I think with Mumble, you know, if message me directly and whatnot, or just probably better in Mumble, or I keep saying Mumble, Discord. Probably better in Discord to just ask questions to the group in general, especially if it's Japanese related. If it's like specific to the course in which I'm doing, then yeah, you probably want to message me. All right, so let's get started again. And part of me is thinking I need to. I tell you what, let me go and before I really get started, make sure I have some water here. So my throat's starting to feel dry. That is not a good sign. There we go. Drink a pint of water, then have a pint of water on standby. That should help my throat from getting too parched, because I'm going to be talking a lot, as we should be. All right, so let's make sure we got this set up. So I got the, let's see, we're on lesson 28, lesson 29. All right, so we just finished that person in charge, so we'll be going to here. All right, that's lesson 29. Make sure Heisig is where it needs to be. So there's person in charge, a little different than grandchild, Mago. I think that's everything. Yeah, and then make sure my pen is working like it should be, which it is. Alrighty, I guess we can go. Alright, so let me mark down the time, and where's my pen? Where's my pen? There it is. Okay. Okay, so we got RTK 9. RTK 29, RTK 30, there we are. Put in my earphones. It's kind of weird, like when you're trying to do things, try to say what you're doing out loud, especially when you're like fixing something or repairing something. But it also could be like if you're setting up a process, like say each of your steps out loud, and that can kind of help with the mental flow. Make sure you don't skip steps, because again, that could also help with, you know, but, you know, if you're studying Japanese, hey, state what you're doing in Japanese. Maybe that could help. It's not something I do, but it probably would be a good thing to do. Alright, so it is, so we can begin. Let me just start the time. So right now it is, we'll say it's at 8 minutes. We'll say 40 seconds. It is the 12th. And we can begin. Alright. So welcome back. This is Nuke Marine presenting the suggested guide for Japanese literacy course series on Memorize. Today we'll be covering is course number 3, which is Remembering the Kanji Optimized, part 1, which presents the 555 kanji from the 2001 Kanji.Odyssey book series and presents those in the Remembering the Kanji order. We'll be going on, so let me go to his, actually go to it. Alright, so here's the course, and let's go. We are on lesson number 29. So we'll be approaching lesson 30 today, so we'll be hitting the number 450 for a total number of kanjis that I've covered in this course series thus far. Time involved has been about, I would say, 25 hours, give and take some time and whatnot. And by the time it's all said and done, by the time we get to 37 lessons, we should be around the 30-hour mark, which is probably would scare the hell out of people if I just posted, yeah, here's a 555 kanji I'm going to teach you over the course of 30 hours. And that whole 30-hour thing just will probably blow a lot of people's minds. Say, screw that. But yeah, that's the thing about kanji. You're trying to do in a short amount of time, which think of 30 hours there, but compare that to like the hours of time that Japanese children spent just trying to get kanji into their head. I mean, again, they had their their entire childhood life to get that. By the time they get to like middle school, to have like hundreds of kanji already able to comprehend what they are meaning when they're reading. And then by the time past middle school and definitely high school, now they're up to like 2,000 or 3,000, probably more. I mean, not necessarily writing it from memory like you're learning to do here when presented with an English word, but again, a lot of kanji they can write from memory, but they can definitely read it all. They can basically recognize it and know how it's being used in their language. So again, this is 30 hours just to get with the literate and fluent in Japanese to a, let's say, near native levels. Could be up to 2,000 hours of dedicated study of some sort. It doesn't have to be actually from a textbook, I mean, but it could just be studying as in, the early parts could be textbook, but then later on you get to the adult, about using actual Japanese material. So yeah, these are shortcuts and whatnot, and we're getting to there. But this is lesson 29. Right here, and let's see real quickly what we'll be covering. So we have, let's see, we got horseshoe, bikini. I was looking at some of the primitives. Looks like the sake bottle. Let's see, we already got gold. Looks like silver is being introduced. Okay, yeah, we should be good to go on this. There's a Heisig. So let's begin. All right, so we make sure the first thing is going to be honorable. Honorable. Alright, so that's limit, so it's definitely not honorable. There's good. Daughter. Eat. There we are. Honorable. Alright, then we'll go back to those first 5 when we're done. Okay, so as always, how we're going to do this is the Heisig keyword, honorable. So from this honorable, this has a rough meaning to what this kanji means, if you ask somebody who knows Japanese and English. And obviously then this keyword is the idea is to bring up this little story, and from this story it gives you the parts to make up the kanji. Also, what I'll be doing is I'll be introducing the various words for this kanji in this case, what other meanings it could be, so manipulate, govern in this case. Then I'll also be going to presenting the pronunciations or vocabulary words that the Japanese use with this kanji. And then, but again, the purpose of this lesson is not to teach, as always, from the last 28, here it is again, you're not learning vocabulary right now. You don't have to memorize the vocabulary or the pronunciation. I'm presenting this for completionist's sake, and plus in the future after you've learned vocabulary and you're still coming back to here for reviews, then maybe this becomes a little bit more confusing because you don't recognize this kanji with this, but then you start looking at these like, oh, okay, yeah, I get that. Go yo, go ten. Okay, that makes sense. And gyosha. And then it's like, oh, okay, I know what kanji is talking about. And then you pick it up from there. That's later on in the future. Okay, so let's begin officially now. So here we have is honorable. Now this, so it's like an honorific that you usually add before a word, like o or go. It's like so it's like Okasan. This would be the o of Okasan or Oto-san. This would also be the gochiso-sama. I believe is Ohayo gozaimasu, something like that. Let's see. I think. All right. Well, anyway, let's see. So here we have is on. 1, 2, 3. So it's the fourth entry, honorific prefix, the imperial one. Okay. Gyosha. Coachman, driver, cabin. Its position. Let's see. Seigyo. First word. Control, govern, checking, suppression, repression. Alrighty. Gohan. Asa gohan. So this is like dinner, cooked rice or a meal. So this is the go of the gohan. Goyo. Your order, your business. That's the fourth word there. Goten. The second word. Palace or court. Okay, so anyway, this is honorable. Now, if you look at the kanji, you're going to see it looks like Spartan soldiers, and we're going to see it's like a blending of horse and footprint. So I'm going to call that the horseshoe, and then we're going to be introducing it to stamp, which is we'll be covering that as well. And let's say here's a quick story. So the honorable thing for the Spartan soldiers to do was to pay wholesale. I don't know about wholesale for their supplies. Perhaps horseshoes and stamps. Okay. Yeah, I don't like wholesale. I like horseshoes and stamps separately in this story. So let's see what the highs get. So yesterday we start person in charge, then we have grandchild, suspend. Now let's go and introduce stamp real quick. Now look at this. It's the similar to 10,000 and direction. The right side is done. Of the strokes are done first, then the left side stroke is done. And for this stamp, think of either a postage stamp or maybe a stamp on like a thing you put in the ink and then stamp a message saying delivered or approved or top secret, whatever stamp. Yeah, okay, so in this case, so he's using, think of postage stamp. So we'll go with that. We'll leave it at that. A postage stamp. All right, so let's come here. Ooh. Come back. There we are. All right, so let's look at that. Okay, so again, do the right side. So like I said, similar to 10,000 and also direction. You know, you saw we did that part first. So we're going to do the same thing here for stamp. So we're going to do that and again with the hook, and then we're going to do it, and then on this side it's going to be a little, feels like it's going to be a little longer. Let's look at what Isaac has there. So yeah, you can see that right side, the left side, just a little longer. No big deal. Alright, so that stamp. Now we have is instead, gone, shins, wholesale. Now this is the horseshoe and horseshoe. I'll tell you what, we'll cover this right now. We'll do that with honorable. So here's the honorable line and wholesale. So let's do this. So first thing, let's bring the so-called horseshoe. All right. So what we're going to be doing is mixing up horse and shoe. All right. So do the horse. Actually, let me make sure I'm doing this right. Let me get the stroke order. Alright, 1, 2, 5, 6. Okay, good. So do the 2 strokes in the for horse. Doing horse thing, you're going to do stop. Yeah, I thought so. Okay. So, alright. So we got there. So there's the first 3 strokes of horse. And we're going to do basically that. We'll finish up. And that's horseshoe. Horse and stop, or horse and footprint. Horseshoe. And then of course we're going to do stamp. So horseshoe and stamp together will become wholesale. But now what we're going to do is honorable. So we already had the story. So we have the Spartan soldiers were honorable in paying for their horseshoes. They didn't steal it, but they paid in postage stamps, which had a value of itself. Okay. Alright, so let's do the story. So honorable. So there's the Spartan soldiers, and they're very honorable guys. There's the Spartan soldier. He's an honorable guy. So he wants to do the horseshoe, so we'll do the horse first. And we'll finish it up with the horseshoe. So do the horse, shoe. And then finally, they did the honorable thing, paying for the horseshoes, maybe wholesale, using postage stamps. So there's the postage stamps. And this right here, honorable. Go. You don't really see this kanji used often because they'll just put the go. They'll usually use the hiragana for it instead more often. But yeah, sometimes you'll see it pop up. Yeah. Next kanji. Now this is clothing. This could be to admit. Also could mean to admit to something, obey, or discharge. So this is clothing. You already see the part of it. And words that use this. Here it is. Fuku. Clothes, counter for doses of medicine, gulps of tea, drags of cigarettes. And buku, morning clothes, morning. So we have fukuso, first entry, garments. Fukuju, obedience, submission, resignation. Also the third word, fukuji, clothing, dress material, fabric. Yofuku, Western style clothes, instead of traditional style clothes. Okay, yeah. So we're all good there. So it's clothing. Now here we have is, for clothing, we have flesh, or part of the body, bikini, and bikini, which is a postage stamp that covers the crotch. So I thought, okay, that's a good term for a bikini, a postage stamp that covers the crotch, which is, you know, yeah, okay, good. Bikini. Clothing, the bare minimum must be covered flesh the size of postage stamps, large enough to cover your crotch. Okay. So that's a fairly simple visual story. You just imagine, you know, a guy or gal. Maybe if you want to, those the blurring. If you ever watch Japanese pornography, you see it like the crotch areas are blurred, and so maybe you can say that's a blurry postage stamp if you want to play that, covering the crotch. All right, let's see what Heisig has to say. So we have wholesale, honorable. Here's clothing. Note how stamp is stretched out here. Yeah, okay. Let me look at the stroke order, make sure. So you know. And so this is weird. Remember, the top part, then the line. So it's not line, top part. It's top part, line. This is going to be fun. Because I've probably been doing the song. So we'll keep this here for right now, and we'll be deleting the rest of it. So we want to do postage or clothing. So again, think of clothing as stuff that covers the part of the all parts of the body. So there's all parts of the body. It's got to be a postage stamp. So we want to do postage stamp. We'll do this in two parts. Part of the body, postage stamp. Then we do large enough to cover the crotch, clothing. And I'll be honest, I am guilty of doing this backwards. And I think it's similar to it because when we see felt, because usually the reason is because I thought of felt as I'm trying to remember. I think we do it this way. And I'm pretty sure I got that backwards, but like when I did he. In fact, let me go on real quick because I feel like I don't want to get this confused. So we want to do with I think he. I'm probably not seeing it. And it would have come up with the Spartan soldier. Yeah, so it would have been here. Here we go. Okay, so here it is. So this is different. So with postage stamp or stamp, the top is done first, then the line. But for here, like for what we call, it looks very similar, the downward stroke is done first, then continue. If you need to create a story to keep that separate in your head, I mean, so be it. But remember, so like for the cloak or the felt here, the cape or the peg leg little stroke order is done first, similar to which is different from cave. It's kind of like with parade, you know. This is going to be kind of confusing. That's if you really care about a stroke order. But, so there we go. So for this case, this is done first. But for postage stamp, that is done first. That's the differences. We got JRS152 saying konnichiwa. Konnichiwa. Okay, so that's the so there we go. So that's how you draw it. So clothing, flesh, postage stamp, crotch, or the postage stamp's crotch is the bikini. Next, we're going to have is chop seal. So here we have is like the I want to say mu, the mu kanji, katakana for mu on top of the yo, which is we call the screwdriver. We're going to turn that into what's called a chop seal. And then it's going to be called traffic. Okay, so anyway, this is traffic. To traffic also could mean to traffic, you know, like when you say traffic, the passing or dealing of something, pass through, avenue, commute, counters, but, you know, again, something dealing with the road, if need be. Words it uses, so we have is, let's see, tsu, okay, I don't really like that. Like a kayo, which is to walk through something. Toru, to walk, again, is to travel through something. Let's see, we have suko, passage or passing. You also have suko as in the second word, which is friendly relations. We have Sudoku, reading through or reading over. Okay. Fusu. First entry is suspension or interruption of something, but normally for fusu, when I've heard it, it's this one. It's general, ordinary, usual. The second word right there. Then we have tsuya. The second word, all night vigil over a body, awake. Okay, that's interesting. So here we have as the part. So we're going to learn chop seal, which is going to be the mu, katakana, and what we use for the screwdriver. Here's the story real quick. So the chop seal and the screwdriver add together to make a hammer. And so here is a picture of a road worker who's busily hammering on the road, with a jack, while all the traffic builds up behind because of the road repair. Okay, so let's go with let's go to Heisig now. After I went and lost my place, so we're on number 29. Okay. All right, so here we are. So we're going to do mu. So let's see what Heisig has to say on the matter. Okay, so we're at honorable clothing, fate. Now we're going to do is chop seal. Now this is where things get a little, when it appears on top of the primitives, it appears to be this. This is where things start getting a little bit weird. Okay, let me delete this. Alright, so the way he's saying is like, okay, so for stamp, the vertical stroke connects. For chop seal, the vertical stroke is on there. And then what you're saying is that you're going to see it. So here's the hiragana for mu. And what he's saying is like when you see it on top, it's going to look like that when you see it on top of things. But also what I kind of notice, like you might also see it, it's kind of weird, but you might also see it like for, it'll also be at the bottom. So it's not necessarily gonna be looking like that. You might sometimes see it depending on the font looking like this. We'll cover that as we go along. But anyway, so chop seal is this right here, where the vertical stroke is a little bit more inside, and then at the top it's gonna look like the katakana for mu. So okay, so that's chop seal. And for chop seal, is like a way I would think it's like just like a stamp, but it's like the stamp you like to put a hanko, or I guess hanko. Basically it's like you stamp something delivered, or you stamp something fragile, something where you ink the stamp and then put it on the box or something. So it's that type of stamp, not a postage stamp. Okay. Yeah, and they were saying good distance. So here we have orders, 0. I like that kanji, by the way, 0 kanji. Age, cool, jurisdiction, small bell, courage. Okay, so here we have his traffic. You are correct. I'm doing ma. It is ma. Why am I saying mu? It's ma. Okay. Yeah, I know. Mu is elbow. You are correct. Okay. Everything I just said is, he's right. Let me, yes, that is ma. And I was confusing it with mu. Okay, brain fart on my part. Apologies. But yeah, so that's the katakana for ma. Similar if you did for the just for S and G's. If you think of you got ma. In fact, that right there, kind of like if you do it, it almost looks like it leads into child. It's kind of weird. I like how you get to see katakana make its appearance in all these kanji, just for fun. But yeah, okay. Okay, let's get back to here. Okay, so here we have his traffic. Chop seal, utilize road. Combining the first two primitives, single image would be the, you'll be able to use that image in a few instances later, one of which comes immediately. Yeah, so that's what he's saying. Okay, so I'm going to call the chop seal, or the ma, and the utilize, the yo, and we're going to call this, let's combine these two. So here's the chop seal, alright, and then we're going to put that on top of, we're going to do this. I'm probably going to regret this. Okay. Remember that vertical line is last. All right, and this is screwdriver. I mean, so the bottom part is screwdriver and the top part is chop seal, and then we're going to call that the hammer. The hammer. Something either a big hammer like a jackhammer or a small hammer like a hammering a nail in, but it's going to be hammer. All right, now we want to do, as Isaac was saying, we're going to put that hammer and use it for making road repair. And that goes back to the story we had here, which is chop seal and screwdriver add together make a hammer. Pictures a group of, so it's easy to say this is a group of road workers hammering on the road and building up the traffic behind them, because it's preventing the traffic, or maybe traffic has to go around them or something, but traffic. Alright, so we hear traffic, so think of, so we're going to do that. We're going to think of the hammer, which is the chop seal and the screwdriver. And that jackhammer is being used in road repair. So road repair, so think of traffic, it's easy to think of roads, so there you go. Here's the, just so I'm not like, let's bring it over. So there you got it go. So there's the there's the yo, or the screwdriver, utilize, and then the road. Alright, next kanji. We're going to get to dangerous. This is going to be fun. Dangerous. Alright, so let's see. We have, jurisdiction, small bell, courage. Here's traffic. Jump, okay. Doubt, mimic, congeal. Now we're going to learn this part. Is going to look like, kind of looks like stamp, but it's going to be with the peg leg. And they're going to call this is the fingerprint. Alrighty, so let's delete this. Alright, so I guess what he's saying is like we're going to take this right here, which kind of looks like being used as a fingerprint, and we're going to recreate it. So we're going to do top part of chop seal, or the stamp or chop seal, and then we're going to do the club foot. Alright, and that's the fingerprint. Okay, and you can kind of see how it maybe curves in a little bit. So we got fingerprint, pattern, here we are, crime, unlucky, and that's where we'll be getting into, and dangerous, which is bound up and unlucky, so we'll be looking into those. Alright, so next kanji, here we are, dangerous. Now this can mean dangerous, fear, uneasy. Abunai, it's like something's bad about them. Yabai, it's, oh, okay, well maybe not yabai, but definitely abunai. Here we have his ki, danger, Chinese rooftop constellation. Here you have his kiken, danger, peril, hazard. Kikai, first injury, injury, harm, danger. Anki, Anki, memorization. But the third word, Anki, fate, safety, welfare. Alrighty, so let's do this. Let's see what Isaac has to say on the matter. So we got unlucky, so we'll do unlucky, and it'll be dangerous. So this is like dangerous place to be is being bound up on a cliff, and the only leftover is the fingerprints. So here's the story. So bound up, unlucky, which is cliff and fingerprint. A bound up, unlucky guy. Since we haven't learned unlucky, I'm not comfortable with having you do unlucky on its own. So we'll say we'll just use bound up, cliff, and fingerprint, and which is very dangerous. Like so he's a very dangerous position because he's been bound up, he's tied to cliff, and he's had his fingerprints all burnt off at the top of it. It's very dangerous. That tells you that's a very dangerous place or a position to be in. Alright, so let's do that. So you hear dangerous, so it's to imagine someone is bound up, so we'll do the little thing for bound up. We're going to do the cliff, and the cliff is same as top and then the bottom, and then on this cliff, bound up cliff is, you know, again, someone who's been bound up and his fingerprints have been burnt off. Alright, dangerous, dangerous. This is the Abunai. Dangerous. Alrighty, next kanji. Oh, good. We're going to be introducing the sake bottle, or sometimes he was calling it the milk bottle. I just prefer the sake bottle, but or what they call the sign of the bird. But we'll be getting to that. So this is sake, not sake, sake. So sake, alcohol, usually in reference to alcohol. Other words, shuen. Second word, which is a drinking bout or a banquet, shuen. Inshu. Inshu. First word, drinking alcohol. Yoshu. And first word, Western liquor. It's also the second word, a Western or foreign. No, okay, yeah, just the first one, Western liquor. Also, yeah, it's not shoyu, but that's something else. But so yeah, sake, shochu, I think is a good one. No, shu. So maybe not shochu. All right, so let's see what Isaac has to say on the matter real quick. What's the story here? Sake bottle looks like like water in a kanji whiskey bottle. So what in this? Okay, so he's going to call that the whiskey bottle. Maybe we'll find out. Water in the whiskey kanji bottle. Whiskey bottle. Okay, so here we have dangerous, mailbox, address, arm, garden, grudge, receipt. Okay, we'll probably be covering that later. Willow, egg, detain, trade. Here we have something for staples. Probably have to cover that a little later. Stamp, entertain. Alright, here we are. So first thing we're going to do is sign of the bird. Now, the kanji is sign of the bird, but we care about it as its primitive, which is going to be whiskey bottle. So you can kind of see it's kind of like we did for west. Have we taught west? Okay, we probably haven't taught west yet, if we haven't. But it's going to look like, or the for or whatnot. So it's going to be line, hood. Okay, well, we'll just draw it out. So let's draw out the sake bottle. The whiskey bottle. Alright, so you're going to do the top part. It can represent the cork that goes into the whiskey bottle. Then we're going to draw the bottle, the body of the, so this is the actual body of the bottle. And then we're going to do the neck of the bottle. We're going to use the peg leg and club foot. Alright, so peg leg and club foot. Alright. Which could be, maybe that's the design, it's the pirate whiskey. Peg leg, club foot on the whiskey bottle, and then we're going to do the two strokes here. And then this becomes, so I can't recall, have we taught you west or not? But no, we haven't taught you west. Alright, so we'll, have we? God darn it, I hate when I can't remember. Okay, tell you what, let me do it real quick. Control F, west, 1602. Okay, yeah, west is coming up then, I guess. Alright, so we haven't covered west yet. We'll be getting to that then. Alright, so this is whiskey bottle. Whiskey bottle. Sign of the bird. Whiskey bottle. But it's going to look similar to west. Also, if you've seen this, it also kind of looks a little similar to 4. Alright, and the reason is you're going to be getting west is going to be this here later on. Alright, so you can, but these all, but again, this is kind of obvious on how you can, again, so just do the body of the bottle, neck of the bottle using the peg leg club foot, and then finish off. These two lines can be like the label of the bottle. But anyway, sake bottle. Now what we want to do is, so that's a whiskey bottle. Or you can use milk bottle, or you can use sake bottle. You can use anything to represent the bottle. Baby bottle if you need to. It doesn't matter. Oh, alright, so now what we want to do is, sake looks like water in a kanji whiskey bottle. Alright, so we'll do that. And in fact, we'll do it here. See what Isaac has to say on the matter. Sake, water in whiskey bottle. Let's draw it out. Alright. Sake. 1. So do water. Because again, if you ever looked at sake, it does look like water. So that's easy enough. And then you want to do the, I'll tell you what, we'll do this in parts again. 2, 3, boom, body, and finish it off. Alright, good. So that's sake. Water in a, water, it looks like water in a whiskey bottle. Tastes good too. You get quality sake, it's really good. And quality sake also not much of a hangover from what I've noticed. But it might be depending on your body. Alright, now we have is drunk. So obviously we think of drunk, we think of a whiskey bottle. And we're going to see 9 and 10. What we're going to call this is called 90. Yeah, 9 and 10. 90, go figure. Anyway, so this is called drunk. Alright, so drunk, whiskey 90. Words that it can mean, so it can mean drunk, feel sick, poisoned, elated, or spellbound. That can mean. Let's see. So here is yo, which is being drunk. Futsuyoi would be like a hangover. Suikan. Fourth word, drunkard, a drunken fellow. Suikan. Masui. First entry, anesthesia. That's interesting. It also looks like no, that's kind of a repeat. It's a similar word, but kind of a repeat. Masui is also anesthesia. There are different, I guess we're using different kanjis for the first part. Shinsui, first word, adoration. Alright, there we go. So here it is. To get drunk, you need to drink sake or whiskey that is 90 proof, 9 and 10. Whiskey 90. That's really easy. So we got there. Okay, so we have sake, bartending, fermentation, cruel, repay, dairy products, vinegar. This is the show you. I think, yeah. Drunk. Here we are, drunk. Whiskey bottle, baseball, and needle. In this case, we're just going to use 9 and 10. 90 proof whiskey. Alright, so you get drunk because you're drinking a whiskey bottle that's 90 proof. So we're going to do the whiskey bottle. Let's do this in two parts. So there's a whiskey bottle. We'll do it. Finish it up. So that's kind of like the radical there. So that's alright. And then so it happened to be whiskey that is 90 proof. So we want to do the 9 of 90, and then the 10. Boom, 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 boom. 9 and 10. 90. Alright, so drunk. Whiskey that's 90 proof. Drunk. Drunk. Next kanji. Distribute. So this is kind of weird, is that you could say we already learned this part is snake. If we haven't already, we're about to. Have we learned that snake? I can't recall. Maybe we have. A snake that distributes all the whiskey could be in Genesis, but it's sake distributed instead of that. In this case, okay. So in this case, the whiskey is apple schnapps, and the snake from the Genesis in the Bible story is delivering apple schnapps to Adam and Eve so they get drunk and have sex. Okay, whoever you can do that story, sure. Some people may not, and so this is distribute. One word to use it is kubaru, to actually distribute like documents or materials. Here we have is haibun, distribution, allotment. Kohai, second word, mating, crossbreeding, cross-fertilization. It's also the third word, kohai, spouse or married couple. And it looks like also the sixth word. Yeah, sixth word, kohai. Seventh word. No, it is the sixth word. Kohai, good spouse, good dividend. Maybe I should just put on my glasses if I can't. Okay. Reason is I got the screen of my computer pushed away so I can have the writing pad right in front of me on the table. Okay, anyway. Shinpai. First word, worry, concern, anxiety. Yeah. Okay, so that's where... Okay, so we already got that. So let's go back to Heisig. Got drunk, whiskey. So here we have is distribute. Now, I guess we have had... If we haven't already, I'm going to show you now then. Okay, so we got here, just to make sure, for this sign of this, or snake, kind of like we're doing bow, right there, so then remember we did bow, but in this case we're going to do, so that could be the coil of the snake, and then you had a clubfoot come down on the snake. So this is snake. If any of my students, if you've been following along, can you recall if I actually used this in a previous kanji? I am not recalling it, and it's kind of freaking me out now because I probably would have seen it before. I mean, because here it was kind of sort of. It was in here for I'm not quite sure. I mean, I could cheat here. So we got here, Control F, snake. Well, we're not showing snake. Okay. Why would it not show that? Huh. Alright, and Maybe it was here. I don't know. Maybe, partly now, I probably should do is I have the book at my disposal. So, Control F. Let's see. Snake. Where's the first entry? Okay, so it's 2042. Okay, snake, 214. Page 214, I think. This is probably a bad idea. Really bad idea. So is it here or actually related to number 214? So probably near 214. No? Alright. Who knows? Alright, let me go back to where I need to be. Alright, what am I doing? Alright, so I want to put it back here. So we want 1436. Okay, that's where we finally first saw it was scribe. Word snake. Alright. Sorry, that was like getting me. Okay, 1497. God, sorry about all that. Let's see where we at. We were accrual, repay, distribute. Okay, let's exit out here. Drunk. Alright, so we have distribute. Okay. That was a... Let's go back to the beginning. Alright, so here we have is distribute. We already got the words in, koahai, shimpai. Alright, and we have is sake bottle and snake. We did cover snake before in one thing, which is word snake or scribe. Snake distributes whiskeys, all the whiskey bottles if it's a snake. Okay, so we're going to be doing this story about, I don't think Heisig has a story here. Let's see, no he doesn't, he has his whiskey bottle and snake. So for the story, the way I imagine it, it's going to be, again, think of distribute. Imagine a snake with an apple schnapps in its mouth, distributing it to Adam and Eve. That's how life visualizes. Basically, it's a snake delivery service or distribution service. So so we want to do, in this case, he's distributing maybe the alcohol bottles, the whiskey bottles during Prohibition. You know, because that's the easiest way to get past the police or something. So we want to do here. Let's do snake. Alright, so this is distribute. Sake bottle or whiskey bottle and snake. Whiskey bottle, snake. Distribute. Next kanji. And this, okay. We're going to be introduced, we already knew dart, now we're going to be introducing to table or bean. So this is called short. Now this could be like short, like your stature, brevity, your fault, defect, a weak point. Short. So nijikai really means short, like short in height. Tanka, the second word tanka. Well, it is. There it is. It says tanka. Okay, that's 31 syllable. What is that saying? A 31 syllable Japanese poem. Never heard of it before. Tansho, first word. Defect, demerit, weak point. And it looks like there's another one. Tanshi, the fifth word, a verselet or a short-term loan. Then we have is chotan, the third word, which is length, long and short, advantages and disadvantages. Okay, that's nice. So here we have is a short stool is using short darts to be the legs for a short table. All right, we're going to learn that part right there is table. So let's go to Heisig real quick. So we got drunk, distribute, acid, waver, revered. Now we're going to learn is beans, but this beans is we're going to learn is table, and let's learn that real quick. All right. So beans. In this case, so it's kanji for beans, but when you see it with other kanji, think maybe a coffee table, like coffee bean table. If you want to do bean, coffee bean table. Alright, so we want to do 1, and it's just a pictograph. So imagine if this is a table. So it's like 1 mouth. So you can also do it, and then we're going to kind of like with, kind of like take a mixture of like with vase. So we're going to do the bottom part. So imagine you take the top off the base, and now that you want to fill it up with beans, you know. So maybe you could put 1 bean in your mouth, and you're going to spit it into the bottom part of a vase. So you can kind of imagine that if you want to use just the bean concept. But it's also if you want to do the table. So there's the mouth, and then there's the strokes 4. And this becomes table, coffee, or you could be like coffee table or coffee bean table beans. Alright, so this is kanji. That's the kanji. Alright, now what we have head. Now this is the full kanji for head, but we're not teaching that. So here we are. We have for short. We have dart and table. All right. So remember. When you hear the word short, just think of short legs on a short table. Using short darts as the legs. So a short table has, short. So short legs are made from short darts that are make up of the short table. So short. So we want to do darts, which is kind of do those. We'll do this in little parts. And a little short leg there. It even has a little short leg if you need to. Boom. Then we want to do table, which is 1 mouth. If you need to, if you still need to imagine them. This could be the magazine that's laid on top of the table, and those are the legs of the table, and there's the base of the table that the legs are connected to. However you want to do, there's a visual. 1 mouth, and then the stroke, and then the carpet. Maybe that's also the carpet, who knows how you want to do it. This is short. Next kanji. Now, okay, this is a nice kanji. So now we have is warm. We're going to be learning plate. So we have water, we got sun, and we'll be learning this is a plate. So warm. Now we already learned sultry, which is kind of like heat. Now that's like hot. So this is warm as in tepid. Not like burning to the touch. It's nice to the touch. So atatakai, a comfortable warmth. Tatamaru, to become warm. Tatameru, to warm up something. So here we have is ondan, warmth. In fact, I think, let me do this. Let me do a quick little edit. Ondan, that's a good thing to do. Come on. And that's assuming, I'm not quite sure if this is other kanjis in the database or not, but we're about to find out. So let's say not. Okay, so we'll do real quick. Ondan. Okay, not that. Because that's warm and warmth. So those could be easy to confuse. Alright, so let's see. Ondan. Let's see if we can search that. Okay, so this does come up. In fact, okay, we'll be learning this later, so let's take care of it now. Ondan. Not. Alright, good. And I apologize for not doing this earlier when I went through this course the first time, because I was just kind of speeding through it. But now that I'm actually having to vocalize all this stuff, it makes it a bit more obvious whether I'm running into a problem. So anyway, so we got warm. Here's a quick story. We already learned ondan, warmth. Here we have is onko, gentle. And then we have kion, atmospheric temperature. Not body temperature, atmospheric temperature. So want to warm up want to warm up all your water. Water left under the sun in a dish becomes nice and warm. Okay, that's the story. So let's go with Heisig, and we'll draw up the kanji as we get to it. So we already learned table. We're probably going to be learning. So we got bountiful, we got short, bountiful, drum, I don't think we have to worry about that. Let's see, drum, rejoice, timber trees. So this is what we need to learn is plate. Now we're not learning the kanji for plate, but since it's going to be appearing in other kanji, let's take some time out and draw it. Okay, so here we had was table. Now let's do we'll do it over here real quick. Do it as its own thing. So we kind of already had table. So now let's do plate. All right, so plate. We do it. So for plate, kind of like you're doing mouth, and then 2 vertical strokes. So it almost looks like the if you ever put your plates in the, after you wash your plates in the sink, you know, you almost looks like you're putting them on the little drying rack. So it's like the little drying rack for your plates. So yeah, when you see this, this is plates. Let's see if Heisig brings up something. Kanji for dish, clearly. Pictographs, painter, carved bow, seen from the side. Okay, I guess he's like saying it's like a dish from the side. I always think of plate, but I guess dish works just as well. Dish or bow. Not necessarily bow, because we use something else for bow, but you can kind of see. But again, that bottom stroke is always longer. The bottom is very distinct in its length. Okay, so this is plate, or dish. Alright, so now we want to come back to here. So now we want to do water, sun, dish. So imagine you want to warm up water under the sun. The best way to warm water is use the sun and keep the water in a dish, so that way you have it to collect later on. So that's using sun power. So warm water under the sun on your dish. Easy enough. Let's do it. So we think of warm. Warm your water under the sun. Boom, boom. Warm your water, sun. Boom, boom. And keep the water, but the water, what water are you going to warm? The water that you've put on your dish. Okay. Next kanji. Silver. Alright, so we're going to be learning another thing, which is the concept of something like a silver dollar, or maybe something else made of silver. Full kanji for silver, use a metal that is the metal that is used for silver is, use metal that's, but anyway, so this is like gin, silver coin, silver paint, silver in general, silver general in shogi. So yeah, gin itself is silver. Then we have as ginka, a silver coin. You have ginko, which is silver and go. But anyway, ginko is bank. You'll probably learn that word early on. There's also ginko, second and third word, which is silver mine or an ore. And let's see, do we have anything else? Gin and gin, silver. Now you have sui gin, mercury. So water and silver is mercury. That makes sense. There's also sui, which is Mercury, which is the planet Mercury. Is it? No. Yeah, so gin. No, wait. Okay, yeah, I'm sorry. I don't think sui is Mercury. Okay, I take that back. Ignore what I just said. Alright, so anyway, let's learn silver. So let's go back onto here. So we already had dish, blood, basin, alliance, steel. Now here we have is warm, water, sun, dish, so we did that. And we have oversee, overflow, specimen, fierce, boom, salt. Okay, here we are. So silver. First thing we'll teach is silver on its own, because when we see this in other kanji, yeah. Alright, so let's delete this. Alright, so we're going to teach silver as the primitive, then we're going to teach the full kanji for silver. So the silver for primitive. Let's look at the stroke orders. So basically this is happening right here on, yeah, right here. So you see it's like the first stroke is kind of like chop seal, but we're going to be doing a couple things underneath, then finishing it off. So similar to how we did flag. So it's going to be similar to how we do flag. Let's see. So there we go. So first thing I want to do is kind of like the first part of the flag. We're going to split the flag, so maybe in reference. Now I can't think of a good story to help this out. Okay, now here it's with the hook. Okay, then we're going to do kind of like with silver. Maybe it has when it's melted, it has a little watery appearance. So we're going to do that last part. Is going to be like the right side of water or rice or whatever. When you start seeing patterns appear, you start getting a feel with kanji. You start feeling how things should write out, and that's the patterns and whatnot. So this is silver when it's used in other kanji. Now we want to learn silver, the full kanji. Now the full kanji for silver is because it's dealing with metal. So let's do metal. Kanji. Build the drop. Do that. Fill up. Okay, so let's do that. Do this in parts. And I'll also bring up something when we see this in okay, now Isaac was bringing this up, and now let's see if he mentions. I'm not quite sure. Okay, so if you look at the bottom here, it almost looks like he mixes it with mu, the stroke of mu, when it's used as a primitive sometimes, actually a number of times. So let's bring up here. So we're going to be looking at this right here. So this is silver when used in it. Now what's going to happen when it's used over here as a primitive, or maybe, you know, as a left side primitive, or as a left side radical? We're going to do it as before. Okay, so that part's normal. Well, what's going to happen is this next stroke. Okay, so that part still is normal, nothing out of the ordinary. Wait, now look, watch what happens. We do that. So it's almost like we did with mu. All right, so that's what's happening there, or like the base of insect, or like we did with insect as well. You know, kind of like there. But yeah. Anyway, that's gonna happen now and again. So if you need to think of that as a silver, maybe that's if you want to say a silver dollar, you know, instead of silver, this could be the silver dollar. Whatever you got to do to keep the story in your head to make sure you're not doing the full stroke. But you start getting this, you start getting the feel for that anyway. Yeah, boom, 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 boom. Okay. And saying 6. All right, so here we have the full thing for silver. We already covered that. Let's go with the next kanji. So again, metal, silver, metal and silver. And make sure I'm not confusing this. Get the, and if you want to, you know, for silver, you think of, you know, because you got a little flag, you got a little hook, so maybe this is the marking of a silver mine, you know, if that works. And then, of course, you also want to clean off the silver, so this is the part of the water, you know, the strokes there used to help clean off the silver, or maybe when it's melted, it gives the appearance of water, you know, quicksilver, sort of like mercury, or whatnot. Okay, next kanji. Okay, so we've learned. Now you see here is like the primitive form of it, or the radical form of silver is right there as the radical. So we have bamboo, silver, and stamps. I mean, this is going to become node. Okay, so here we have is node. It doesn't have any other meanings for it. So let's look at what words are used in. So here we have is setsu, occasion, time, or section. So nodes like communication nodes. So that's where sections come into play. Let's see, it has fushi, a joint, knuckle. So I guess the or tune or melody, or knot in a wood. Okay, there we go. Knots in a wood. Node in a bamboo. Yeah. So you think of nodes like the bamboo stem, the little more thicker parts of the bamboo. Some other words. Let's see, noto, a knot. Bushi, characteristic way of speaking. All right. Setsuyaku. So here you have is fushi, which is joint knuckle. Setsuyaku is an economizing, saving or something. Kisetsu, season. Kansetsu, second word, kansetsu, joints, knee joint, elbow joints. Okay, that's good to know. Let's see, gofushi rori. Gofushi. I'm not quite sure with this ofushi yori. Anyway, so here we have is node, and we're going to find out this bottom part is called instant. So a crude but effective bamboo network allows instant communication among the many nodes. The joints connecting bamboo make a natural fit for the kanji node. Okay, so let's go down. Let's go down to this real quick. So we already get silver. We got silver, the actual metal, resentment, root, instant. Now here we have is instant, silver, and stamp. So if you want to have your, I mean, this is not a kanji you're learning, but if you want to think of it as instantly, so you have silver, all right, which is the radical for silver, and then we have is stamp. And then if you pay your stamps with silver, you know, if you attach silver to your mail, you're going to be having it delivered instantly instead of stamps. So use silver instead of stamps to get your stuff delivered instantly. Now what we want to do is nodes, which is, think of communication nodes being instant communication. So we bamboo. So imagine the bamboo is like the covering of the wires of communication nodes. You know, you can think of the wire itself as being silver. So we can do the silver part. You know, and then it's sort of like, you know, maybe stamps is like what you don't have to use anymore, because when's the last time you paid postage on an email? Unless you're counting the Verizon, your cell phone bill. Okay, so yeah, so this is instant. Node, instant communication node. So you think of node, instant communication node, bamboo as the, you know, the bamboo is what's holding the wires in, silver is the wires, and then the stamps could be the payments to document that, yeah, okay, this node is for communicating with California, the other node is communicating with Europe. Node, bamboo, silver, stamp. Next kanji. Okay, that's saying, oh, for fuck's sake, we're already at 54 minutes. And yeah, I really screwed it. I really was messed up by talking too much on this. So let's keep going to levels. Let's go to preview. I get the feeling I should make this just be the lesson for the day. Part of me feels like this. Okay, anyway, so next kanji is limit. So we've got the Eiffel Tower and we've got silver, and then we have here is limit. Okay, so limit, kagiru, be limited to, you know, not to exceed these bounds. Here it calls limit, restrict to the best of the ability. So in this, usually think of limit or restriction. So here it has kagiru, to be limited. Kendo, first one, limit or bounds. Say again, restriction, restraint, limitation. Okay. Kigen, looks like the first word. Term, period, time frame. Alright. So here we have his Eiffel Tower, and here we have the Eiffel Tower was limited to the frame due to the amount of silver offered to build it. Now you're limited to how high you can go up the Eiffel Tower by how much silver you pay for the tour. And so, yeah, two different stories depending on how you want to do it. So limit, Eiffel Tower and silver. Kagiru. Let's hear. Okay, so here we have is so we have instant, barren. There's the node that we did, bamboo and instant, or bamboo, silver, stamp. So we got retreat, limit. Here we are, limit. Pinnacle and silver, or what I call the Eiffel Tower in silver. And now you notice it's the for the silver we're going to be using this part of silver, not this part of silver, because it's on the right side instead of the left side. So let's do here we are. So we remember for limit, think about how the building of the Eiffel Tower was limited. And this is actually, again, this is 3 strokes, not 2 strokes. So it is that one, then that's a stroke, and then this is a stroke. Then we want to do silver. Alright, we'll keep this in 2 parts, 3 parts. Go ugly. Okay. Silver. Okay. This is, God, I keep wanting to screw that up. Sorry about that. God, that is so ugly. Okay, sorry about that. But yeah, silver. So remember, limit is right there. Limit, limit, limit. Next kanji. Now we have is good. Now this is going to refer to as halo. So whenever you think of silver halo, just, you know, there's a little dot on top of it, kind of like the little hat of a top hat, but in this case a hat of silver would be the halo. But anyway, this is called good. Good, meaning being nice or good, pleasing, also skilled at. And so here I have is yoi, yoku dekiru, or can do good, so it's good. Let's see, yo, good, B grade. Yeah, okay. Yoko, favorable, satisfactory. Also we have ryoko, skilled artisan. Third word, ryoko, good harbor. Yeah. Here we have is ryoshin. First 2 words, parents. No, ignore that. The first two words are not it. So we want the third word there. Ryoshin, conscious. Then we have is yurio, yurio. Second word, superior, excellent, fine. Okay, so a drop of silver makes a good halo. Another kanji, think of angels, halo. So good, good. A good halo, or make a good halo, or a good drop is all you need to make a good drop of silver. Or I mean, a drop of silver is all you need to make something good or fine, artistic. I don't know. I just remember the whole thing is halo. So when I think of good, I think of a good halo. And think of angel, you know, our little angels, or people are always acting good. Kids that are supposedly always acting good. So here we have is drop of and silver. I don't think of it as drop. Let's see. Yeah, it's more like drop is kind of a bad thing. I was thinking like the little stem of a top hat. Without silver, and again, follows the same rules as silver about the when it's drawn on the left side of a kanji. All right, so let's do this. Delete this. All right, so let's do good. So remember, it's the drop. Think of good. Good. Now, if you want to, good to the last drop in your silver coffee cup. If you think of the Maxwell House or whatever the story was, whatever the commercial was, good to the last drop. That can also be. So that could be this little drop here. Good. Good hat. A good hat is maybe. We'll do it in this part. We already know that this is silver. The good halo is just a good hat made of silver, kind of like a top hat made of silver. There you go. There, yes. A good halo. It's a top hat made of silver. Let's see these parts. Okay. Now, as you remembered, so if it's on the left side, all right, it has that little. Basically, this is all just one stroke and it's merged. All right, that's when it's on the left side. So this is good, good. Next kanji. Daughter. So we already learned. Did we learn son? I'm not quite sure. We learned. No, never mind. That has to be different. So here we have his daughter. So we have woman and good. Woman and good. Daughter. Daughter or a girl. Here we are is musume, daughter, girl, young unmarried woman. Morning Good Musume, I think, was a band with by that title. My daughter. Yeah. Okay, from a parent's perspective, a woman with a halo is a daughter, or a daughter is treated as if a woman with a halo. It's always good, or it's always the girl that's good. You know, their daughter is always the one that's good. It's everyone else's daughters that are bad. Your daughter is always good. A woman is always good. So let's draw it real quick. So I learned good. Now remember, the woman is the primitive. So we're going to do the ku. Got the no. There's the ichi. So it's a daughter. It was a woman. The parents always look up as being good. So we're going to do the little drop. We'll do this part. We'll do this part. Then remember, drop. Kind of like the flag. We're going to do the full thing because again it's on the right side, not the left. So this is daughter, very ugly looking daughter. The kanji, not the lady. Don't take me out of context here. Okay, and you kind of see here it kind of looks like two strokes. It's not. Just to make sure, I'll show you. Even you see it in other. You can kind of see it's just a single stroke here, single stroke, single stroke. There's with the little moo stroke. Yeah. So we're here. All right, we've got one last thing to do. We're gonna have to learn how to eat. Okay. So we got good, melodious, wondering. There's daughter, woman in halo. Okay. Next kanji. All right. So this is the last thing. So this is eat. This could also be a reference to food. So there's taberu, to eat. Ku is kind of like a more rougher way of telling someone to eat something, or it's a lot more casual way of telling somebody to eat, or to say, for eating. Let's see, shokuji, a meal, something to eat. Let's see, it's also the second one. Third word, shokuji, a dietary cure. Shokuryo, food. Also could be second word. Provisions, shokuryo. Kaishoku, dining together. It's a mess hall. Danjiki, fasting. Okay, there we go. Only eat the best. Under an umbrella of this place, there's only good things to eat. Of this place, of this eating place, there's only good things to eat. Okay, only eat the best. Only eat the best. Okay, under this umbrella, okay. So that should be easy enough. You can actually have someone, an umbrella, and this maybe the angels or the waiters or the waitresses dressed as angels serving you something to eat. You know, if you want to do a visual on that. Let's see. Here's a. Okay, so we were at limit, eyeball, good, melodious. There's daughter. Now we have is eat. As obvious. Yeah, and they're saying it's mentioning just as with. Now, it can mean eating or food. I usually think of food anyway, and then as with case of silver and good, make sure that you can abbreviate the stroke, kind of like it's showing here with meal. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Actually, he's got a better story, and I'm trying not to copy a lot of Isaac's story that he's given, but he's in this case silver. He's talking silverware. That makes a lot of sense. Holy crap! So like for here, it could be silver. So that could be silverware if you want to, a silver spoon, or instead of a silver dollar, it could be a silver spoon if that works. Because we already have something for spoon, but that's fine. So here in the case, or silverware, I tell you what. So for silver, you can think silverware if you want to go back and think of a good story. But right now we're going to think of eat. So you're going to eat under an umbrella. Alright? And under an umbrella we're going to eat good food with silverware. So we're going to do good food with silverware. So we're going to do the drop. We're going to do here. Let's do it another. Alright. And part of me is thinking like earlier I should do a stroke by stroke. So we do there, we do the drop. We're going to do first part of silver. Then we do the second parts of silver. This will be eat. Alright, there. That's eat. And this is what he was mentioning though, is over when it's over here on the left side of a alright, you're gonna do it like with before, but again the moo, it becomes more of a moo moo stroke, I guess. Abbreviated stroke. There you go. This is just an abbreviated stroke. Alright, so that's kanji. Alright, that should be everything. Okay, so we are done. Okay, so I was at like 55 minutes. Okay, so that was another 11 minutes. So total was, because I started at 8 minutes 40 seconds and is now, so yeah, this is an hour and 10 minutes. So this is a 70-minute lesson. I apologize for that. Some of it was because I was trying to figure out whether or not I even taught the radical for or snake or whatnot. So if you want to go and take away that like that you gave, if you gave the video earlier, if you want to go take it away, I think I deserve it. This probably took a little longer than I expected. But again, this lesson though taught a lot of different things. But it's, again, hopefully they go and work all together. If you ever need help, remember to go to kanji.kohi.com, and join up with those lessons. Look at the group stories that people have offered up, and look for something besides what I've offered. Get Isaac's book, and you can read over that because that's a good reference book, as always, and whatnot. But anyway, that's the lesson. Let me go and it's 5 o'clock. It's 5 p.m. here. I'm not really in the mood to take a break. I've been talking a lot. My throat, I can feel my throat getting tight. Let's see. Nothing I can do about that. Alright, so we got this session complete. Let me go next. Okay. Got there. Wow. Alrighty. That's gone. Let's go to the next level. Come on. Okay, and this will be lesson 30. So from here will be 450 kanji. Let's see what we got. So, alright, so we got some things happening where, now here it's for food, so I was thinking of like at a food court or something. This may be eating at McDonald's or Burger King. I don't know, I just kind of like think of a, maybe just food in general, place to eat visually. Like, if you want to, you can pick a location that you're always going to eat. So a location could be McDonald's, or a food court, maybe Burger King, wherever. Moss Burger if you're from Japan. So we'll be learning that. Let's see, we already learned axe, but we're going to learn stand, tree, so that's going to be new. So we'll be getting there. Let's see, nothing too much. Let's see, and alright, so we got quite a few that are going to be repeating, so that's good, so it won't take as long. So this will be lesson 30. And let's get, let's see, it's 1473. Yeah, so it's the next thing. Alright, so let's, yeah, there's 1472. Alright, so let's do this. Whew. Alright, so this is lesson 30. It was right now 1 hour, 20 minutes, 21 minutes, 1 hour and 21 minutes, 0 seconds. And it's still the 12th. Alright, so let me go to the introduction and we will begin. So, welcome back. This is Nuke Marine presenting the Suggested Guide for Japanese Literacy course series on Memorize. Currently we are on course number 3, which is Remembering the Kanji Optimized, Part 1, which presents the 555 kanji from Book 1 of the 2001 Kanji Odyssey series, and presents those kanji in the Remembering the Kanji order. Hopefully with this benefit, these kanji 555 account for maybe 75% of the frequently used kanji. You know, whenever a kanji appears, it's got a 75% chance it's one of these 555, so it's a lot of bang for your buck. I think the next 555 just cover a range of 15%. So you do get some good things to hear. And they also make up for a lot of the words you'll be learning for vocabulary. Very common vocabulary. Alright, you don't have to look at every word that's using every 500, because there's like thousands of them. That can come later. Okay. So this is right now we're at lesson 30, which is bring us the count to 400. By the time we're done with this lesson, we'll have the count up to 450 kanji, and soon we'll be having this all finished up. We'll be at 555 by the end of lesson 37. So let's go to options, preview. Okay. And as always, as we've done in the last 29 lessons, we're going to present a Heisig keyword, which is an English word that he feels closely relates to the meaning of this kanji. Not always, but usually. And also what I'll be doing with this keyword, it gives you makes you think of the story. From the story, helps you think of the elements to help create this kanji. What I'll also be giving you is other meanings that this kanji could imply based on the vocabulary word that uses it. I'll also be showing you Japanese vocabulary words, and however the purpose is not to memorize vocabulary words that use this kanji yet. That's happening later with the vocabulary and grammar series, grammar courses. Again, this is generally for completion's sake, to kind of give you an idea of the kind of the feel or taste that these kanji meanings offer. Alright, so here we have is even. Now this is, or it could also mean flat, like a flat piece of land, or peace. In fact, heiwa would be a word for peace. Here we have is hira, something broad and flat, palm of the hand, ordinary. Taira, I don't know that one. Let's see, here we have is heimen, a level surface plane, so this is nice and even. Heiwa, now heiwa is peace and harmony, so even, you know, nothing sticking out. Peace and harmony. Kohei, fairness, impartial, justice. Oh, and there's also another one. The fifth word, balance and equity, kohei. Then we have is byodo, equality, impartiality, evenness. Alrighty. So here we have is like do one, do the drops, then do the two, do the animal horns, one animal horns and another one in between, and then slash in between. The ceiling is the level surface of water, while the needles floating underneath are like little animal horns, or maybe insect animal horns floating underneath, and then a little, that one under here could be like a lily pad that it's resting on. Let's see what Isaac has to bring into it. And then you say another kanji, you can think of this as being a lily pad because it lies flat on the water. Okay, so we have, and geez, I did it again. I'm sorry. This is not the kanji we're learning first. Okay, let's. We're gonna have to skip over a lot. Okay, okay, okay. Sorry about that. All right, so we'll be covering anyway. So here we have is meal. Now meal kind of has the kanji for eat. So now this is like a meal, like a breakfast, lunch, dinner, that type of meal. Also could mean boiled rice. So you have rice, which is kome, but when you boil the rice, now it becomes gohan or han. Meshi. So meal or boiled rice. Japanese words it uses. Meshi, meals, food, cooked rice. Yeah, in fact it even says it there. What was the other one? Manma? Cooked rice. Baby talk. Okay. Here we have is gohan, and there we see the honorable there. Gohan, cooked rice or meal. Suihan, third word. Rice washed in cold water. Dried rice soaked in water to soften. Okay. And sekihan. I'm not seeing it. Okay, yeah, it is the first word. Sekihan. Red rice, beans and mochi for red rice with beans and mochi for auspicious occasions. Oh, okay, yeah, okay. Sekihan. There you go. A good meal should be anti to the generic fast food. A meal implies something with some effort and preparation. So there's like the opposite meaning. Or the hippies. A good meal is something like a or maybe a good meal is like the opposite of food, of eating. So it's a meal, but after you eat it, then it's no longer a meal. It's ate. So to eat. So you also apply that little logic of this the idea of anti or not something. Let's go. So we have eat and we have meal, food, and anti. It doesn't offer any more stories there. Let's tell you what. We'll continue on with this here because there we already got the thing for eat, but we're going to be using this primitive. So let's make sure to eat something, or for a meal, it implies you have to eat something. So let's eat it. All right, but you ever heard of saying you can't have your cake and eat it too? Actually, you can't eat your cake and have it too. So let's say now you say so for a meal you can't eat your meal and have it too. So let's see, kind of like the anti-concept. So we have it. Yeah. So you can't eat your meal and have it too. That was the actual term for. Okay, and that's the total thing for eat, and that's very ugly. But here's the stroke orders real quick. So you can see 9 and 10. So you can see the top part, and the 9 for anti, and then we do the and whatnot. But yeah, so that was the other thing. You can't have your cake and eat it too. What it was supposed to be is actually opposite of that. Is the concept is you can't eat your cake and have it too. So in other words, you only get to use this one. You can't have it both ways. You can't have it both ways. So you can say for a meal, you can't have it to where you can't eat your meal and then expect to have it later. That's the It sounds like an opposite meaning, but it actually makes sense when we put it in that terms. All right, so that's meal. Next kanji. All right, and these are it looks like fairly balanced on when they're doing it. Now we have is drink. Now here is, after you've eaten something, you need to yawn. And yawn means like you're gulping. And so I think you put your head back and you're gulping down or yawning. You're actually gulping down a drink. So drink. All right. So this is nomu. Anyway, so this is drink. It also could say is saying smoke or take. I don't see it. It could also mean to take medicine. You drink medicine. So even if it's a pill, you would still drink it. Nomu. Here we have is inyo. First word is a drink. Inshoku. Food and first word, food and drink, eating and drinking. Koin, heavy drinking. Okay, so we have a drink. Here's a story real quick. After eating food, Stitch, because I use that for Lilo and Stitch there, plate now lacks food, so he yawns mildly and then drinks something to wash it all down. Yeah, I think that's my story, because I'm the only one I think was using Lilo and Stitch. So we have eat, meal, drink, food, and yawn. Alright, so let's do that. Let's delete all this. Alright, so let's do food. So we're going to do eat, or in this case food. Alright, so that's eat. And we're going to do is yawn. Because like, or if you ever see it, it's like after a big meal you're after you eat, you get tired, so you're yawning. And if you don't feel tired, what you do is like drink water. Because if you tell my students is, you know, if you're feeling tired, drink water. Alright. Then you also do with lack. So what we have is, we're going to do this in, remember that part. It kind of looks like but yeah. So when you, and that's almost like person there. So yeah, that's food and yawn, or food and Stitch. You know, drinking. So you need drinking after you drink down your drink after you eat. Drink while you eat. You know, don't forget to yawn when you're done, to kind of like maybe kind of burping, I guess, later on. Get the gas out of your tummy. Alright, next kanji. Now this is building. This is different from, don't confuse this with tatemono. Part of me feels like there's a, let me see here, build. Control F, build. Control. Okay. Escape. Something, and my mind is drawing a blank, and I feel like an idiot for that. Okay. Alright, we're just going to ignore it. Alright, so we got meal, we got drink, now we're going to do is building. Alright, so we have to introduce is this part here. We'll be talking about that. Well, anyway, so this is building. This is the abbreviation for the word building. Now it could be referring to a mansion, a large building, a palace building. Words that use this: kan, house, hall, building; tachi, tate, yata, a mansion, small castle, or boat cabin; kannai, kannai, within the jurisdiction of, oh, I'm sorry, ignore that one. Kannai, second word, in the building. Now it's not kanai, it's kannai, in the building. Otherwise you're saying wife. Ryokan, it's a travel in a building, so it's a Japanese hotel, an inn. Ryokan. Toshokan, Toshokan, library. Okay. Tosho. Alright. So anyway, so food controlled by the bureaucrats sit inside a building. Okay. So we're going to learn this part here as being bureaucrats. Have we learned that already? I don't think we have. I don't think we learned that was bureaucrats. Okay, so we have hungry, we have starve, we have decorate. Now we have is building. Keep it separate from, distinct from institution. Okay, that's why. Yeah, so let's learn bureaucrats real quick. Bureau. Let's do here. Let's do bureaucrat. Control F. Hello. Am I misspelling bureaucrat, aren't I? Did I just do that wrong? Okay, oh, 1400. Okay. an idiot. Okay, I'm sorry. God damn it. God damn it. Mm-hmm. Okay. Bureaucrat. Okay. So we kind of skipped over this, but all right. Let's start with. So anyway, so this is house and what he's calling it looks like maestro right here, maestro, and then which is actually kind of looks like flag with a little base on top of that. So he's like two boxes, which is what he'd be standing on. So and then we're going to go to bureaucrat. So let's learn this real quick. I mean, in fact, I'll keep this up here, but we're going to learn bureaucrat. So first thing we want to learn is maestro. So it's going to be a little drop. And then we're going to do flag. So maybe it's like be like the flag or the baton he's waving. And then of course the box he's standing on. So we'll do that at the bottom. So actually I don't like that. I want to make sure I show you the strokes properly. Okay. In fact, I am pretty sure I did that stroke order wrong. Okay. Yeah, it is the long stroke first. Okay. Okay, so we're going to do long stroke. So there's the little, it's not necessarily a flag, so we'll just say it's a box. Okay. So this is maestro, so he's waving the wand, so drop, and that could be waving the wand. And alright, so that's maestro. So what we want to do is now learn bureaucrat. So bureaucrat could be the guy who's controlling the house of the maestro. So we do house, and we want to do maestro. We'll do this, but without the, it's going to be without the, so it'll be the wand of the maestro, the box that he stands on, maybe. So a bureaucrat isn't artistic. He's not waving around a stick or anything. He's just controlling the house. Okay. Yeah. So we got there, and there's yeah. So bureaucrat. Yeah, institutional building. All right. So we did all that. Now we go back to 1470. Right there. So we're at building. This is not a very good story. I'm not doing a good job here. Okay, so we have his food and bureaucrat. Food and bureaucrat. So it's like maybe this building, think of this specific building as a building for the Food and Drug Administration. So there's, yeah, think of the building for the Food and Drug Administration. So it's about food there and all the bureaucrats that control, make sure this food stays good. Yeah. Okay, so there's bureaucrat. So first thing is, again, so bureaucrat, so you hear building, this thing of the building for the FDA, which, and then that means first thing is always going to be the food. Okay, so you got the food, and then of course is the house of the maestros, or people who think they're artistic but they're just a bunch of bureaucrats. So we'll keep that as two different things. There's the food, there's the house, here's the. We'll finish it off. I know I don't like to do it like stroke by stroke, but alright. So I had to kind of teach you three things just to get to this part here. So maestro, bureaucrat, and this whole thing is building. Building, think of the building that for the Food and Drug Administration, we hear building, which is the food and the bureaucrats. Next kanji. I think this is going to be, have to start again. Alright, so that was 16 minutes there. Keep going, come on. Preview. Alright, So we did that. Now we're going back to even. I already discussed this, but I'll discuss it again. So this is even, which means flat or even, or also piece. By itself, hira, something broad and flat, palm of your hand, common, and they also say some other things, novice, private. And here we have is amen, amen, a level surface, a plane. Heiwa, and this is really good. It's a very common word for peace, harmony. Heiwa. Kohei. We want the first word, fairness, impartial justice. Then you go to that third word, kohei, is an error. Kohei error is from 1058 to 1065 AD. Okay. Do we have any other heis? Oh, and you also have the fifth word, kohei, balance or equity. Then we have is byodo, equality, impartiality, evenness. Okay, let's learn this. So again, we're going to think of as a lily pad, and what you're saying is ceiling, little needles of the insects floating on the surface of the water. So even surface of the water, there's the top of it, there's the lily pad, there's maybe a little animals on it, there's the bottom of the lily pad, maybe a little stem or the stick of it, however you want to picture it. Let's see what Isaac goes and does. Let's see, he has foster, sated, waitress, previously, outline, rue, even, and I don't know. I think the story is kind of visually there, but let's try and attack it. Control delete. Okay, this is where stuff starts getting weird. So if you think of even, so you think of like the even little. There's the top part of the water that's like an even. Here's the little insects that are floating gently on top of it, barely disturbing the surface. And there's the little lily pad that maybe the little guys are dancing on. Am I drawing this right? I need to get the, Then finally it's the, maybe a little stem of the lily, even on the even surface of the lily pad, there's a little stem of the thing. Okay, so yeah, when you see this means even. Don't confuse it with half. So that's half. That's even. Even. See what else he has. And then when you see it in other kanji, you can think of lily pad, with the frog. We got a frog lily pad. Next kanji. So that's even. Now we're going to teach is stand, tree, and axe. So this is going to be new. I think we've already taught axe. We've already taught stand, which is okay, so we've already taught tree. But now we're going to add tree, standing on a tree. And this becomes new. And we're going to see this in a couple of kanji. So this is new, which just means new. It says right there, shin, new, neo, Gregorian calendar. Also, ara, sara, ni, those are various prefixes. So atarashi just means new. Shin kyu, second word, new and old, incoming and outgoing. Also, the sixth word, shinki, new, fresh, a new customer. Shinbun, newspaper. That's probably a word you're going to learn. Yeah, it says new here. Okay. Kakushin, third word, reform, innovation. Alright, so just go for standing atop a tree. So this part is standing on top of a tree. That's all I know about it. Here we have the woodcutter standing on top of a tree, waving his brand new axe, saying, "Look what I got for Christmas, yippee." That's not mine, I don't think. But it's alright. So here we have even, call, to mat area, tatami, something like that. Evaluate, sheaf. That's when we learn it later. I'll call that the X-Men. I think we already used it for map, but yeah, when it's by itself, I'm just going to think of X-Men. Hope, villain, bosom, detach, kill, earthworm, genuine, dull. Okay, so here we have a spicy. So we get the little standing on the tin. Okay, resign, catalpa, which is a tree, superintend, catch up, wall. What the heck? We are skipping a lot. What the heck? So we have even. Oh, okay, it's going from 1484 to 1502. Wow. Okay, evade. All right, finally we have is here is catch up. I'm not quite sure why he's saying this. Let's see, evade. Now we got his new. I'm not quite sure why he's saying red pepper. Where is he getting red pepper from? Spicy. Okay, here it is. As a primitive, we should look at the spicy, except for when the two strokes are at the bottom, giving it the form of a tree. Then we'll alternate red pepper. I don't like that. I've seen this so often. I was thinking like standing on top of the tree, like the other story said, even if that's not my story. I'm not even sure why he went all this way to here. This is kind of silly because both those things we already knew about. But anyway, here we go. Let's take this. So we'll keep that here because what's happening is we're just going to take vase. So there's vase. We're taking tree. Alright, we're just going to, and vase was standing up, or to stand on something if you want to. So we're going to be standing, and then standing on top of a tree. Alright, whatever you want to do. If you want to do, I wouldn't suggest a lumberjack because I got something else for lumberjack, but wherever you want to do, it's like tree climber or whatnot. Whatever. Somebody's, for some reason, is standing on top of a tree stump, whatnot. There you go. Now, what we want to do is new. So, there's a guy standing by the tree. So he's standing by the tree. And it's kind of like what Lo was saying. Like if you're going to cut a tree, you want to try to cut it with a brand new. You cut best when you cut it with a brand new axe. And we're going to do axe. We'll do that in 2 strokes. Or two areas. Remember that's 2 strokes there, by the way. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is new. New. Alright, so stand on top of the tree and cut it down with your new axe. Cut it down. New. Need some new wood, stand on top of the tree, cut it down with new axe. Alright. Next kanji. Parent. Now we have again standing on top of a tree, and there's Mike Wazowski. The best type of parents is like if the kids are like climbing a tree or going to go and stand on top of the tree, then the parents are going to be there keeping an eye out on them. They're going to be looking out at them, looking at them. Alright, so this is parent. Now this can be intimacy, relative, familiarity, and a dealer of cards. Go figure. So here we have is Oya, parents, parent, a parent, a founder, or a pet owner, Oya. Also you see is a Shin, as intimacy, closeness, or friendliness. Okay, Yoshin, I guess that makes sense. Okay, so here you have Oya, we already covered. Shitashi, I don't know those words. Shinzoku, relatives. Let's see, does anything else come up? No. Then we have Shinyu, first word, a close friend, a bosom buddy, a crony. Nikushin, the blood relationship, blood relative. Nikushin. Okay, that's interesting. Bound by meat, flesh of my flesh. I guess that makes sense. Let's go down. So we have new, firewood. Here we have parent, red pepper, and see it. I don't use red pepper. I just don't. If you want to, you can. I just don't. It's just so what Jesus thinks, standing on top of a tree. So there's a parent. So as a parent, when you see your child climb a tree and go and stand on top of that tree, standing on top of that tree, all right, you are paranoid. So you're always going to stand there and look at them. So you, the parent, is always going to be looking at them. And you can do looking as. And you can imagine this. You can actually visualize. This is Mike Wazowski looking at Boo, who's climbed on top of the tree, is standing there on top of that tree, and so he's telling acting. There's Mike Wazowski asking like parent, Boo, come down. There you go. And I tell you what, we'll do that as. All right. So again, come here. All right. So we got stand tree here. So let's do finish this off. Alright, good. And that's parent. So we got new and we got parent. Next kanji. Now we have his report. Now this is, we have to go back to being, we're going to have to learn is, this part is happiness, and we already learned bikini. So anyway, this is report. This could be news, a reward, retribution. You know, usually it's a news report. Let's see, ho, information, news, report. Ho, mukuiru, I don't know that one. Ho shu, first word, remuneration, recompense, a reward. Don't see anything else. Ho koku, report, information. Also the second word, ho koku, patriotism. Okay. Joho, news, gossip, military intelligence, information, and not seeing anything else. Okay, so we're going to learn this is happy, and then we're going to learn this bikini. So let's go back to Heisig, see what he's got here. So we already did parent. Now we're going to do his happiness. Now the way it could look like, it looks like what he said was spicy, and I don't know, happiness. So it's like dirt. It's like maybe it's a baby sheep because it's like a sheep with only 2 strokes. You can do that, or it could be standing with the standing with the 10 above you and 10 people below the vase. Maybe creating like a birthday cake, you know. However you want to do, kind of visualize the happiness. Let's try and do that. So think of happiness. So you want to do, definitely have to represent 10, or it could be dirt. It could be. So I tell you what, let's do it. Think of it dirt. Okay, so that's part of the thing with happiness. And then also you think of, you know, maybe a baby sheep. All right, so we do the little horns of the baby sheep. You know, because it's happy because you know it's a baby sheep because it only has the 2 parts as opposed to the 1. And then there's the baby sheep, and there's the 2 parts. And there's the 1. Or again, you can say this is the 10 and the vase, so it's like could be representing the birthday cake. When you learn to stand, you know, like a baby when it is 10 months old, or it learns to stand on its feet and start walking around 10 steps. You ever see how happy a parent can be? So you can do like 10, stand, 10. The 10-month-old baby standing up and walking 10 steps make your parents happy if you think of happiness. And it even looks happy when it can pull that off. Although probably 10 months is I guess that's a good age to start being a toddler. All right. So anyway, so normally when we're going to see it in another kanji, we're going to say it 10, or if you want to say 10, stand, 10. All right, 10, stand, 10. Or yeah, so it's dirt or 10, however you want to say it. So that's happy. But now what we want to do is to do, let's see, happiness, tenacious. Here we have his report. Happiness, stamp, crotch. Compared to, I don't know about that. All right. So that was from the story. The news report was dull. Then male viewers were happy to hear the reporter was wearing a bikini. So I think when I first started this story, it was the naked news was coming. I was on the internet around that time, 2000. I think around 2003, 2006. It was like a big deal about naked news. Then maybe it's like South Park had the midget in and our news reporter was a midget in a bikini. But anyway, so the report the happiness that when men see bikinis, you know, this just in the category of duh. All right, so let's draw that. So let's say when you think of a report, I just think of happiness and bikini. The news reporter, so you think happy, so 10, stand, 10, so that's happiness. And because the news reporter was wearing a bikini. So remember, we're going to do stamp. We'll do this in 3 parts. And again, what is a bikini but yeah, no, it's supposed to be like that. Okay. Yeah, don't confuse the two. Let's see. Here's the stroke order just to show you. So yeah, there we go. So there we go. So do the 10, stand, 10, then of course the bikini. Remember the top stroke is done first, then the straight line down. Boom. Alright, now we're going to learn his income. Jeez, we still got a lot to go. Okay, so that's a report. Now we have his income. Now we're going to learn this is a cornucopia, and it's a. I might have to show a picture of that. Let's see, cornucopia. Search. See if we get some images there. Yeah, so we'll use that as a visual. Okay, income. So this can mean to obtain something, reap, pay, supply, store, income. So when you see this, let's see. Osameru, I don't know those words, so shukaku, harvest, crop, ingathering. There's also shukaku is the result of a good result or a gain. Shunyu, that's your income, your annual income, your receipts, your revenue. Then we have kaishu, collection or recovery. Probably collection though. Like kaishu show would be like a collection vehicle or the dump truck. Gomikai shu is a trash truck. Alright, so here we have is prostitutes can make a comparative cornucopia by income. They put the common income. Yeah, so that is my story. We're going to learn, let's learn this cornucopia first. Okay, so here we have cornucopia. It kind of looks like a, a bit like Big Dipper. You kind of see how it's in. And this is 3 strokes. So let's draw that. So first thing is think of Big Dipper. Think of what we did Big Dipper. So what we're going to do is do straight down line for cornucopia. Straight across, straight down, straight across, and then come straight through. And that's what Heisig was showing, right? Okay, he's saying it's written as 1. Did I read this wrong? So I was saying here it's written as 2, and it looks like the vertical stroke was first. So this may be backwards. I might have to go and be very careful about this. Okay. Make sure. So this is income. Copy. Okay. Alright. What the frack am I doing? Let me just do. Tell you what. We'll just do here. Search. Okay. And we'll probably do like a stroke order. Hey, stop that. Stroke order. This is probably a bad idea to search Google, live. I think it was maybe this one. Alright, so we're going to cheat. I'm going to look. I want to make sure I'm doing this correctly. And okay, so there we go. So it looks like Wei is saying it's 1. Yeah, okay. So we're going to go off. We're going to go off this right here. So cornucopia is a vertical line, then we connect to it. So that's very unusual. But there we go. What else to do it for shout, twist, and income? And alright. So I have to relearn something real quick, so I apologize for that. So for this, for cornucopia. Now, first thing is, what is cornucopia? What the fuck is cornucopia? Ow. Okay. This is a cornucopia, a little thing for Thanksgiving in the U.S. where it's where you start. It's like a horn of plenty. There you go. It's like a horn of abundance, and you stuff it full of food. It's just a representation of having plenty of food. There we go. Now, okay. So apparently it is a vertical stroke, then line, then 4/3. So it looks like you're drawing a 4. But a very now this is what this is how I've always been doing it, and I apologize. So I've always been doing it this way. Alright, I've been doing it like that. Oh, there you go. But anyway, it's saying it's like do the vertical line first, then do that. Really ugly. Alright, so that's the cornucopia. Now we have crotch. So we have income. So it's like a cornucopia of crotches. Think of prostitution, how they get their income by providing a cornucopia like crotch. It just keeps making money. That could be a visual you can use if you want to. They put the common income. Yeah, there. Okay. It's a very vulgar story. You can think of non-vulgar stories if you wish. There we go. I'm a little weirded out about the how the story is not, the stroke order of this is being very weird. It's definitely different from what he's describing. Although it makes the most sense is like, you know, draw it like you're doing a 4 instead of the stroke, but there it is. Okay, cornucopia, keep this thing from fair. Alright, so let's do it. So here, income, a cornucopia of crutches. The income of the prostitution industry is really good because there's a cornucopia of crutches. Okay, so we're going to do crutch, 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 1, 2, and finally 2, and then we want to do, what's this? This does not look right. I haven't done this kanji in a while. Alright, so that's income. And let me just copy the, yeah, so it doesn't go through as much, so it's basically, looks like a 4, but yeah, 1, 2, 3. If you want to, for cornucopia, 4 cornucopia. Cornucopia, 4 cornucopia. Just think of the number 4, but you're doing the stroke first. Long stroke, vertical stroke first. A long vertical line first. Next kanji. Alright, now what are we learning? We're learning, we're going to learn some things about hobbits. So heat. So this could be heat as in heat of the temperature, not heat as in hot to the touch, not hot as in sultry, which was hot of the temperature. So this is, so remember the one with the sun and love doll, that was hot, sultry, that's, but now this is heat as in temperature, fever, mania, passion, you know, your feelings. Netsu, let's see, what the heck is going on here? Did I miss something? Did I actually, here, let me go and turn that off and turn it back on again. I probably hit a key thing that just switched up what I was seeing. Come on. Huh. Why did it do that? Why is it doing that? It's not giving definitions. Did I do something? Well, unfortunately that means I can't give you, if I don't know what these words mean, I can't tell you what it is. So I don't know, like Jo Netsu, I don't know really what that is, or Netto, I don't know what that is. Netsubyo, I don't know what that is. I mean, Atsui I know it because that's, alright, so if you do know how to change this, let's see, options. Okay, alternate pop-up, let's see, what is happening here? Highlight text inside the text box. Oh, why is it doing that? Hide definitions and show only readings. That's, I really don't want to. Okay, so I want to do highlight text and show mini help. Yeah. Okay, that's what's happening. For some reason D was pressed and it hid the definitions. Why, I don't know. Okay. Do I get to save? Okay. There we are. Okay, now we're back. Alright, so here we have Netsubyo. That part I don't like, but fever, febrile disease. There's Netsu, which is fever or temperature. Netto, first entry, boiling water. Jo Netsu, passion, enthusiasm, zeal. Alrighty, so Frodo of the soil, so that's what we're going to have, like that's Frodo. He's going to call it rice seedling, and then soil, so that's saying Frodo of the Shire. Shire hobbits is still fat from the life of the Shire, so there's a thing for fat, but the heat of the travels turn him into hardened hobbit, so heat. But remember, this is heat as in hot to the touch. Oh, so maybe it's the heat of the One Ring did it to him. So anyway, so he had income, lowly, that one's going to be a weird one. Tombstone. Now here we have his rice seedling. So it's basically dirt and human legs. So that's the reason why I thought of, that's why I started using, before I used like the California raisins, because that was a little animated claymation commercial. But then I thought Lord of the Rings, Frodo or the hobbits looked a lot better. So we wanted to do is dirt, and human legs. All right, and this is, when I see it, I think of hobbits. Now here's like a hobbit of the, in this case, you're going to find out is hobbit of the soil, so that's a Shire hobbits. That's when Frodo hasn't left the Shire yet. He hasn't left home. He hasn't gone on his travels. All right, so that's where we're coming from there. Now let's see. So there's rice seedling. There's land. Intimate forces, and here we have is heat. So rice seedlings, ground, fat man, or in this case, Babe Ruth, and oven fire. All right, so let's do this. Alright, so again, when you think of heat, can't take the heat, stay out of the kitchen sometimes. You can't take the heat to stay home and cook in the kitchen. So we want to do Frodo of the Shire. So there's Frodo. And we know it's Frodo of the Shire because of the dirt, so we want to make sure there's dirt underneath his feet. He's still, alright, and he's nice, plump, and fat because he's got a well-stocked pantry. So we want to do fat. Alright. Alright, and he hasn't yet had the fat burned off from the, the heat of the travels, the heat. The fires of Khazad-dûm, or whatever it was, where he went against the, when Gandalf went against the Balrog. Alright, so, yeah, so it's really, it's dirt, human legs, dirt again, 9, drop, which becomes plump or fat man, and then campfire. Okay, so this is heat. That's a very ugly heat, but yeah, there you go. Heat. Here's the, if you need to, let me get out of here. How are we doing here? Yeah, so we're on heat right there. Next kanji. Art. Ooh. Okay, so here we have was the Spartan soldier in the boulevard, and now we have what we're going to find out is like a resin. So we'll be getting into that. But anyway, so this is art. It could almost mean a technique, a skill, a means of doing something, a trick, resources, magic. By itself, let's see, jutsu, art, means, a technique, tsube, method or means. Jusaku, first century, artifice, intrigue. Gijutsu, art, craft, technique, technology. There's also shujutsu, which is surgery. Geijutsu, the fine arts, the arts. So it's like geisha, geijutsu. Alright, so you have Spartan soldier, resin, which is pole and a little drop, and then signboard. Alright, so let's go back to Heisig real quick, and we'll need to build to there. So we already were at income, lowly, tombstone, rice seedling, land, intimate, forces. Here's heat, rice seedling, grounds, fat man on fire. Okay, diamond, mausoleum, sign of the hog. Probably have to worry about this as well later. Engrave, above stated, censure. Now we have his resin. Now think of resin as like kind of like a sap from a tree. So that type of resin, like the type that would cover and become amber. And what he's saying here, let's draw that real quick. Control delete. Alright, so we're going to do pole. So remember, for pole we do tree, but with the little often, so now it's pole. So we're going to do pole, little tree. And we use those poles cutting off tree. You notice a little droplet coming out, and then that's the resin from the tree. That's the resin from the tree. So this is resin. So some type of clear, tough substance for covering of something. Resin. So here we have his mention. Now here we have his art. So resin, art, boulevard, and art. So what I can imagine is that the way you can think of the story. Okay, so you got the Spartans, and they're on the road to travels, and you notice that they've passed maybe a great fine piece of art and on the road. Like they bedded down for a day, and they want to do some type of artwork on the road. They wanted to protect it because the invading forces are going to be. So what you can say is like maybe they took resin from the trees and put it over, covered this art piece that was on the ground with resin, so that the way I was imagining is that for my story is like, because again, this is travel on the roads, it was like sidewalk art. You remember, sidewalk art is always going away with the next rain, but if you want to protect that art, you want to cover that sidewalk art with a resin, so that now the water won't wash away this great artwork that was done on the sidewalk. So that's how I do it. So so what we want to do, so again, when you think of art, let's think of the art that the because again, the Spartan soldiers here were leaving Greece. A lot of great art was there. And you notice that, but this is art that was made by chalk. So chalk work, sidewalk art on chalk. Sidewalk art, which is made of chalk. So he's going to run away. So you want to protect it with the resin. So we're gonna do this in a couple of strokes. So we're going to protect it with the resin. Do the little pole. Protect it with the resin. So now there's a little pole. No, okay, that's resin. Or if you want to, you can say a pole and drop. You can say that's how they're drawing the artwork. You don't have to use resin itself. So you can just say it's just poles. There's a little drop. That drop can represent the paint that's going into making the artwork. And then finally are the billboards. So maybe the billboard saying like the Spartan Artwork Museum is that way. So yeah, if you want to say that's the resin that protects it, you can. You can also say that's the pole with the little drop is the resin coming out of the pole to help create the art. However you want to do it. Next kanji. Alright, now we're getting, okay, house, celery, and then ice. I don't really like Baba Yaga's hut, but okay, so this is cold. Cold. It's, cold as in temperature. And I think also though cold to the touch. Samui is a Japanese word for cold. Let's see, kan, midwinter, cold season, the coldest of the seasons. Kansho, second word, kansho, hot and cold, summer and winter. Kanson, a deserted or village or a poor village. Genkan, or genkan, second word, intense cold. Alright, so it's a kind of house in which you keep celery and frozen animal legs on ice is a kind of a cold kanji ice box. So think of a cold ice box. So it's in the it's like a size of a house. You keep your produce or your celery. You also want to keep your meat, so that's your animal legs. And and remember, before electricity, you had to like go and grab the ice from maybe from the mountaintop. So they're blocks of ice. So it's slippery ice there. Okay, let's see what Heisig mentions about it real quick. So it's this up here. Okay, so we have art. Now, first thing we'll learn is celery. Yeah, okay. So if you see it, it kind of looks like bender. So it looks like salad. So that maybe an extra stroke turns the salad into a celery. So okay. So remember, we had flour. This is the flowers and we also had this on the plate. So now this turns it into a salad. So what they're trying to do is like doing one. Let me make sure I get the stroke order here right. I don't want to screw this up. Alright, so it's 4 vertical strokes, 7, 8. Okay. So you are doing flour, then you're doing the 2. Okay, so I was doing this wrong. Okay. So same as here, you're still going to be doing the flour. So okay, so do the stroke of flour. And let me go back here. Alright, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to do a little bit longer, so a longer flour. 1. So it looks a little bit like bend. Alright, and that's celery. So we got flour, salad, celery. Alright, and now we want to do is cold. So again, think of a cold ice box. So you got a cold ice box. Cold ice box in your house, where you use to store your celery. So house, celery, house, celery, little animal legs, and then finally, so celery, maybe animal legs like the chicken legs, or who knows, I don't know, whatever. Yummy animal legs. And then finally, keep everything on ice. A little slippery, a little 2 drops of slippery ice. Because it's an ice box. So it's a cold ice box in the ice house. Cold ice house. With the celery, animal legs, and the blocks of ice. Okay, so that's celery. There's the cold. Let's keep going. Next kanji. Blue. So this we're going to learn this is life and this is over moon blue. This is the color blue. Also, because of in Japan, you'll probably see is like referencing of grass and the stoplight, what we refer to as a green stoplight. They'll refer to those colors as owl or blue. So this is called owl, and then aoi would be the color blue. So again, they're referencing that shade as blue. They're not calling this as green or blue. They may. Let's see, hi, okay, somebody just made hi, I'm back, done with all the reviews, didn't take too long, didn't do it for too long, starting tomorrow. Good, we'll learn Kanji. There's so much videos. Okay, yeah. So yeah, this is blue and green. So it's aoi, meaning pretty much you're going to mean it's blue. But it might refer to objects that you might think, like a light green, they might refer to as blue. Let's see, seiten. Okay, so it's the sixth word, seiten. Blue sky, seiten. Seido. I'm not seeing it. Okay, skip it. Seinen. Second word, seinen. Youth, young man. Okay. Midori ao. So it should be green and blue. Midori ao means green and blue. So okay. Konjo. Fourth word, navy blue. Konjo, navy blue. Gunjo. Second word, ultramarine. I'm not very good with colors, shades of colors. Okay, so we're going to say all plants on the moon are blue or something. So this is like a plant life and then moon. So let's go to Isaac real quick and we'll go down to where he says plant life. So here we have cold, grass girt, brew, defer, lot, lass. So here we have is grow up. Now here is grow up. I think you can just think of plant life in general. Like this maybe just a bunch of plants, not grass, not flowers, not trees, just this plant grow up. So he's thinking of Alice in Wonderland. I don't know. I just always think of it like this represents surface, like life. No, not. I guess life is a better thing. Like I guess it's growing up. So, what's a good visual here? I don't know. Maybe wild plants. Not like wildlife, but wild plants. Like imagine like a yard that's been overgrown. An overgrown. There you go. Overgrown yard. Sure. Overgrown yard. That could work. And here we're going to go down to grow up and moon. So a grow up or a overgrown yard is a better visual. It's not as abstract as grow up. Okay, so we have that, and then we have moon. So so imagine, I guess you have a house. Maybe it's a third. Low income housing on the moon. I don't know. It's just the idea is like so they weren't given the best grass, so all the grasses kind of grew up as being blue. So all the overgrown grass in their field that needs to be mowed down anyway, it's the color of blue on the moon. Okay, let's anyway. So let's go with grow up first. Make sure I got the stroke order correct here. I'm not. Okay, yeah, I thought so. Okay. Oops. All right, so let's go with the grow up or overgrown yard. So kind of like you do a 10, then you're going to do it's like 10 and 2. So basically, it's like doing 10 and 2. But yeah, this is don't confuse it with king, which is here. So and don't confuse it with lord, which is here. Alright, so this is by itself is a straight line, so do 10, then 2. So this is an overgrown grass, or overgrown grass. Alright, so now we want to do is blue. So we just think of the blue moon. The reason why it's a blue moon is because it's actually been overgrown with grass once in a blue moon. So we want to do, let's do overgrown with bluegrass. Maybe you think of bluegrass music if you want to, which is kind of like more of a country. So if you think of people with God, that's ugly. Okay, so we want to do, there's blue. Now we want to do the moon, so bluegrass and blue moon. And think once in a blue moon, the overgrown. Once in a blue moon, if you want to. Overgrown grass on the moon. Okay, all plants on the moon are blue. All right, next point. All right, now we have a solicit. So solicit means there you got your cell phone. Solicitation is someone, you ever notice like someone's trying to sell you something? Well, anyway, this is solicit. Could mean to invite, could mean to ask. Let's see. Say Q, impatient, say, nope, sorry, wrong word. We want, second word, say Q, a claim, a demand, a charge, application, billing. Saigon, first entry, petition. There we are. And 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's also, yeah. Shinsei, first word, application, request, petition. So you kind of see where we're getting here, solicit, invite, or application. Fushin, building, construction, group effort by Buddhist practitioners. Okay. So here we have a solicit. The story is, so you got Keitai and then blue. Scissors not allowed. Okay, there's the door-to-door salesman stands outside ringing a doorbell until he's blue in the face. There's a big sign saying words, no soliciting. Maybe the words are written in blue, big blue words written in blue, no solicitation, no soliciting. Solicit. Right, so you can sit there and talk on the phone all day till you're blue in the face. I'm not going to buy your product. You can see you can speak all the words all day. That's how I usually remember it. Let's see what Heisig brings up. So we got poison. So here we have grow up, poison, elementary, barley. Here's blue. Refined. Then we have his solicit. So he doesn't bring a story to it, but let's do it. So we're going to do, think of soliciting. This think of talking is in there. So we'll do the, words right there, or cell phone or microphone. And you ever seen those, the videos for the marketing? So the pyramid schemes, you ever seen they're always talking to a microphone trying to get everybody all excited, give the company money, because apparently you're going to make money by giving that company money, which is insane. But anyway, they're going to be talking till they're blue in the face. And what is blue but wildlife overgrown on the overgrown yard on the moon, overgrown grass on the moon. Okay. Solicit. You can you can solicit as on the phone till you're blue in the face. I'm not gonna buy it. Okay, next kanji. Feelings. Now here's where you hear feelings, feeling blue. Now this is the Tin Man from the Wizard of Oz, and he grabs his little heart-shaped locket, and he's feeling happy before, but now he's feeling blue because Dorothy went home. Feelings. Okay, so anyways, feelings. So this is emotion, passion, sympathy, circumstances, or facts. Let's see, it's Joe, feeling, emotions, or passion. Here we have is Joe Ho. We already heard this word before, but it's news, gossip, military intelligence, or information. Okay. Joe Netsu, passion, enthusiasm, zeal. Ninjo, humanity, empathy, kindness. And Fusei, third word, appearance, air, taste, elegance. Okay, that's interesting. So here we have feeling alone in blue, sings the Tin Man, grasps a heart-shaped necklace, feeling blue after finally getting a heart. So yeah, so think of feelings. The Tin Man, again, it's just, there's the Tin Man, Wizard of Oz. He's feeling happy, he's feeling sad, but mainly he's feeling blue since Dorothy left. Alright, feelings. We'll keep that there. So remember, Tin Man, we'll do it separately. Remember, do the outsides first, then the stick. So that's the Tin Man with wearing the heart-shaped locket. And then what is he feeling? He's feeling blue, which is overgrown grass or overgrown yard on the moon is blue. Alright, and that's feelings. I think that's alright. Now we have is clear up. So this is ashita hareru kana. So hareru. So clear up. Clear up means the sky clears up is really what it means. The sky is clearing up. Hareru. Hare is like clear sky right here. Clear weather. Public formal. Cleared of suspicion. Here we go. So say 10. This again. Fine weather. There we go. That's interesting. Ko 10. So we had Ko 10 and Say 10. Seiu, clear or rainy weather. Okay. So weather, this keeps going back and forth, alright? Then we have Kai Sei, good weather. Okay, cool. Sun shines clearly on a blue sky after clouds have cleared up. Okay, so we have cleared up. The sky. Okay, the sky is cleared up. So the sun's shining out and then a bright blue sky. Okay, that's an easy enough. Let's see, what does Isaac have to say? So we got feelings, state of mind blue. Don't confuse with emotion. Clear up. Usually with weather. Okay, sun and blue, whatever. Okay, let's yeah, we'll keep it down here. So okay, now we're going to do a sun. So you think of clear up, you're going to think of the sun out on a bright blue day. So here's the sun. When the weather clears up, it's the sun out on a bright blue day. Blue day. What is blue? But overgrown grass. It's actually more in the middle, but right there. Yeah, in fact, yeah, the sun's more in the middle. Sorry about that. Okay, and here's the stroke order, just to kind of verify it. Okay, so we got blue, boom, boom, boom. We got the solicit, boom, 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 boom. We got the feeling, boom, 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 boom. Then we got the clear up, boom, 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 boom. Okay, that should do it. So we had 15 minutes on the first lesson. 2, 3, 4. Plus another 4. So again, we took over an hour here. It's going to start at an hour 21 minutes. It's now 2 hours 25 minutes. And yeah, okay, that's the end of that. So these 2 lessons took over an hour. I apologize. So it's like, wow, okay, like 2 hours and 30 minutes of, well, it's not precisely that. It's like 2 hours and 15 minutes together. But so an hour 10 minutes, an hour 5 minutes. So these are, and I think what's happening is it might get a little worse with these last 6 lessons because they, let's see, we're at we're at 450, so we got 120. We got 105 more kanji to cover, and we're at 1,500. So we got 105 out of, so yeah, roughly about 20%, 80% of the kanji are going to be skipped, and so that means also 80% of the primitives or whatnot get skipped in this book. And you're seeing I'm running into issues where I don't remember if I taught you something or not in a previous lesson, and it shouldn't matter. I should cover it anyway. Just because if I don't recall it, then maybe I haven't been using it enough to recall that, yeah, I did recently teach you type thing. So there shouldn't be any harm in that, and I shouldn't waste time trying to search whether I taught you or not. I'll just reteach you it if need be, because it's only as a primitive. It's just so think of it more as just kind of like a reinforcement as opposed to anything else. Okay, so we have that. We're finished with we're 1538. We're at 1538, so I'll be back tomorrow. I'll be teaching 2 more courses, so we'll be 31, 32, so that's Friday. Saturday will be 33, 34. Sunday will be 35, 36, and I might just wait for Monday to finish it up with number 37. That way I can then move into doing my own, back into going kanji and formally. Okay, so that is the lesson. Let's see, we are done. Okay. And Aculum, again, doing great, as always. Okay, so we can exit out of that. Let's go to groups real quick. In fact, let me go and close these out. Okay, and let's see if anything popped up here. Alright, so it looks like I got 1 message, but come on, why is this being slow? Open a new tab. Close this out. Let's see. And what is this? Okay, yeah. Okay, I'll go apologize to that guy. Yeah, he was talking about somebody had asked about this website called I Know, which I was familiar with the website for I Know because it was, written by Sarago, and then they created a website called I Know, which is really good for doing the Core 2000 or the Core 6000 series of vocabulary words. And yeah, I guess in recent years, what they tried to do what they did at first was they released everything under a Creative Commons license, which meant anyone can kind of use it for their own uses. you know, there might have been some restrictions, but pretty much they didn't care. They wouldn't. They were planning on making money by putting advertisements in their lessons, and that turned out to be that turned out to not work. Once they burnt through capital, that this wasn't going to work. But they did find out people would come and pay for their vocabulary list, so they had to like try to pretend like, oh no, we never gave out this vocabulary list and materials for no, that wasn't. Anyway, they were backing off on that. That was back in 2008, 2009 period. And, you know, again, they continued in later years. I've got no ill will toward them, but they did release this under Creative Commons, and that's the reason why I based a lot of my materials around it, because, again, it's free for people to use. Not the images, because they were licensed the images from a stock photo company, or a stock image company, but again, the recordings they paid actors to go and do the recording of the voices, and I think they licensed but they use their own sentences, and the index list of vocabulary words. Well, you can't really license that because it's a collection of words, and it's the order of the words that matter, not the fact that you had a collection of words. And in fact, I reordered the words in mine, so technically the order which I present these words, that is copyright. Because of how I came about doing it. So yeah, specific order which I present words technically is copyright. The changes I'm making technically is copyright, because again, this is making extensive changes to an existing work. But I'm not applying that copyright. I'm not like locking down on that. I mean, I would probably be upset if someone took all this and then sold it as their own work without giving attribution. I could, if I wanted to, stop that depending on how I felt and how they presented it. Because again, well, the way I feel though, hey, you know, if you want to buy something that's being given for free, that's up to you. You know, or maybe this person's presenting in a better way. That, okay, there's that. I don't know. Neither here nor there. But anyway, that's about the website I know, and the word series called the Core 2K 6K. That's where that all came about. So yeah, there is a history there about what's been happening. Same with like remembering the kanji. You know, again, this is from Heisig's book, and really what I'm doing probably is a no-no, because, you know, again, I'm actually looking over his book, kind of like talking in detail about the radicals and whatnot. And so that's what I'm saying, though. If you are going to do this, definitely go and buy the book. I mean, it's probably like $20 or $30. I'm not sure, but you know, considering the amount, if you really want to learn a language, there are certain resources that are great to have. That book is a great resource to have because you can quickly refer to it. Same with you know, again, if you're going to buy the book called The Dictionary of Basic Japanese Grammar, you want to buy that as a reference. You know, you just want to. Let's see. Got a lot of reviews packed up. I am at 2 hours 30 minutes. Right now, I'm not in the mood for reviewing. I feel like I feel dead after doing these videos right now. It was kind of weird. I'm probably feeling a lot better. I'll probably feel a lot better when I'm not doing these kanji, especially near the end of the book. They start getting draining because you kind of have to think of these stories that can make sense. And that I'm not doing a good job. I feel like I'm not doing a good job, but neither here nor there. So I think what I need to do. Okay, I think I'll just call it. Same as last night. I'll cut the reviews off short. I might do this offline, doing my reviews for these offline when I'm feeling a little bit better. I'm starting to feel sick now, and hopefully it's just because I'm tired, not because of actually becoming sick. That would be a bad thing. But yeah, hopefully get into this. And like I said, I really want to get to where I finish all this. I want to finish all this here. And that means also a couple more of these, and then a couple more of these down here. Okay. So if you've been joining me, thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed the video, please consider liking it. If you haven't already, consider subscribing. And if you're finding this is useful for you, you know other people are learning Japanese, send them a link. Usually what I do is I just give them a link to, like the link down in the description, which is the link to not my self-study sessions. Let's do a link to, right here. Suggested guide for Japanese literacy. And anytime somebody asks, I'll say, hey, you know what? Check out the links here and try it out. It's mainly for people who are beginners, you know. And let's see, Anton's saying, I want to spend at least 2 hours per day on kanji. I want to beat them faster now. Yeah, and in 2 hours you could probably do 15, 30, or you probably could do 30, if not 45, 30 to 45, you know, whether or not you want to get into a lesson. And early on you can actually do more. It's when the reviews start piling up. You need to make sure to always do the reviews first. If you're missing kanji because you're like it's not coming to your head, and you may want to try to think of writing it down. Slow yourself down just a little bit by writing kanji down, especially on this part. And then, you know, you don't have to do that for vocabulary or grammar. But yes, it is recommended for the kanji part. All right, 2017, done. Yeah, okay. That's all done. Let's see what we got here. And finally, right here it says something like J-CAT. Now, J-CAT is the short for the JCAT, Japanese something. It's like their assessment test of language assessment test, but it's free and it's online. So if you ever go to this is good to have anyway. So you ever go to j-cat.org, go there, apply for it, get the application, get the email, and it'll take like 2 or 3 days, or they'll do the processing or whatever, and then they'll send you a link that allow you to take the test for the JCAT. And JCAT takes about, depending on your skill level, it normally is going to take you about 90 minutes to take this test. It's really good. It covers reading, grammar, kanji, and listening. So you do have listening tests in there as well. And the way they kind of work it is what's called, they're trying to narrow down on what your level's at. So they're going to ask you progressively tough questions. And once they figure out, oh, there's a question you missed, now they're going to back it off. You know, they're basically going to do really broad. They're going to cover a really broad range and then narrow it down to where, okay, they're confident that, yeah, okay, this is where your skill level is at based on the questions you got right and wrong. But without having to answer like 100 questions, you know, they're trying to narrow it down, like as if you'd taken 100 questions. Well, can we just ask you 10 questions and just change where in the level this question it needs to be, and then narrow it down to where you are. It's pretty good. I don't know how good it is in your categorizing you know, especially if you make a mistake. But again, it's once every 6 months. It's free, and yeah, check it out. Let's see. Okay. What I was going to say, because I wrote this here, I've been planning to do a live stream of the JCAT when it came about, and is a good way taking a test frequently is a good way to measure. I'm assuming it's mainly for any schools who use tests. Can requests be reopened earlier by contacting them? Perhaps they make you wait because it's primarily intended to test students in classes and allowing people to take it multiple times. Okay, account. Oh no, who knows? Who knows why they're doing it? But yeah, it's once every 6 months, and you can make another make another account and have take it more often than that. I want to do it like so I can gauge myself, and it's something I can be gauged on that other people can compare with as well, because there are tests they can take on. I'm not going to be taking the JLPT. I just don't feel like it. I think there's something idiotic about having a test only once every 6 months that on a specific day in that 6 months. Like it's just, I don't know, and probably the cost involved as well. And then you don't even know if you're taking the right test. Like, you could actually be better than that test suggests, because, and there's no way to gauge that as well. Anyway, let me just end the stream. I'll probably go and do some chores or whatnot and get back to this. So thank you very much for watching. Again, like, comment, subscribe, share, whatever. Doesn't matter. And I'll be back tomorrow. Hopefully earlier than right now, because it's like, now it's flat out nighttime. Okay, bye-bye.